Hello. Hello, hello. Test, test. Alright, let me just look at it from this screen, because I did move the camera. Oh, yeah, showing off this horribly kept mane of hair. Alright, 1 second. Toss this back here. And fix the window output. Oops, wrong thing. There we go. Good afternoon, James. You're here nice and early. Hi. You know what I really wanted to be out, though, by the time I started streaming? You know what today was supposed to be about? It's supposed to be about that ban list. The ban list that has not dropped yet, that we are desperately refreshing. It's very strange that it hasn't come out. I don't know, in my head, it normally comes out at like noon, which was an hour ago. But I guess that's just not the case today. But we'll keep refreshing. Maybe it drops live on stream, and that'd be fantastic. Where do you actually click directly towards the BNR? Oh, we might as well just have that open. Card legality policy. Here we go. Oh, wait a second. Did it just update? No. I mean, it crashed. Nope, it looks like that crash was not connected. Where isn't there like an actual link towards BNR? Let me just search it. Banned and restricted flesh and blood. No, I guess they do come out as proper articles. Yeah, they do come out as proper articles. So we'll keep checking in. We'll keep checking in. Nothing yet. But hello, people. Hello, people. Penis McAnus. Thanks for making me say that on stream. Hello, gamer. Pietro, good to see you. Alex, hey, thanks for the game on the weekend. Got destroyed. Game on the weekend. We must have played on Talishar. Is probably what you're talking about. Which, hey, always GG's on Talishar. Don't take anything personal if I said something on the stream. For the love of God, it's the stream. But there actually are new things to show off on stream. Speaking of, I don't think this was out last time, but let me just launch with this real quick. Look how cool. There are now card backs. In fact, I should add this as like an overlay or something. Sure, click. It doesn't matter. Look at this. There are now League of Levia card backs available on Talishar. How cool. How cool. You might even notice this is a redesigned card back. I did update it when I first made this. Not like it was a big deal to make. I literally just traced over. Actually, I can show you. Let me open it up in the other window though, just in case you see some things on my drive that I don't want. Let's see. Let's find it. Shared with me. Let me find it. Where are you at, Fab? There you are. All right, check this out. So there's actually this like folder that if you're a content creator, you can get added to for access. And card backs, here they are. In this folder, there's all these promo card arts, which I think are technically from some old article. That's fine. I think they're technically from some old article that was released on the Fab website, but it's really cool. I mean, it's like clicking through the development process for the Flesh and Blood card back, and there's some absolute bangers. I'm a huge fan of this one and this one. I like the little depth that they added on this one in particular. But as you click through, you can see some minor differences as well. Like this was the first hand-drawn card back, which, as you can probably tell, is similar to the one that I made. My difference was, I mean, this resolution sucks. So I brought it over into Illustrator and literally traced it by hand. It didn't work very well when I tried to automate it, so I had to like actually trace it by hand, which took forever. And I added some stuff like, you know, the symbols are missing. So we went ahead, like added those. The little inscriptions here were missing. So we added those. The little Savage Feast leaves, they were missing some texture, so I added that. So we just kind of tuned this up. The one difference, though, with this card back, actually two differences with this card back versus the ones I ended up with. So the Pits logo here is a spider eating a coin, but in the real one, let's see, in the real one, You can kind of see it here. In the real one, they changed it to just like a skull spider body. I actually didn't catch that when I was tracing it over the first time, so I did mess that up. So that's a little discrepancy. And then the dragon's different. The dragon is more like a traditional dragon, whereas on this one, it's more of like a Chinese dragon, you can see. So two small differences. But anyway, this folder is really cool. It's got all this art of the original stuff. I'm glad they didn't go with this route, though. This feels a little too dated. I mean, this looks like you're trying to copy basically MTG's original card back almost, with this just old, like, 90s feel. So I'm glad they strayed away from that. Still some cool designs, though, that you can pull for other projects. This is the final card back. There you go. The one issue with this card back, honestly, is that the logo doesn't really blend with the rest of the shape of the card. Like, it's quite literally just the logo dropped on the card back. I would like to see like a little bit more integration or something. I mean, it's just dumped on a circle. Like, the circle has nothing to do with the shape here. It's my one complaint. Anyway, just some history. Hello everyone tuning in. Sorry, we didn't jump into a game immediately because I was really hoping that I could just refresh and we'd see the ban list. I was really hoping that was going to drop at like 1 o'clock. Hasn't happened yet though. But, we'll keep checking in. But anyway, if you want to access this League of Levia sleeve, what you need to do to enable this Man-Sant button is, first of all, become a Patreon, which you don't have to do. I mean, literally, it's just up to you if you'd like. Super appreciated, of course. But you'd have to become a Patreon, and then... let's go to the homepage. You'd have to become a Patreon, and then there's like a button to link your Patreon to Talishar, and that's all you have to do. You don't even have to be a Talishar Patreon. You have to be a my Patreon, and then it will just check and somehow connect it all. It's quite beautiful. Talishar did a wonderful thing there. So it's really easy. If you want that card back, you can access it that way. I think the minimum on Patreon is like $5. So, oh, did the ban list come out? Joshua, don't say it. Don't say it, Joshua. That's what we're refreshing for. I don't see it. Okay, I don't see it yet. Maybe you're tooling with me. But anyway. Ooh, high energy. I just came back from my optometrist appointment where I did get new glasses. Let me show a picture. See if you guys like it. Sandra, woman Sant, absolutely hates them. She is not happy at all. But I like them. All right, here we go. These are going to be my new glasses. You can see it. So no more aviators because Jeffrey Dahmer's on the come up. So I can't do that. Can't wear aviators anymore. And then got some nice thin gold frames to match my family ring. So that's what we're going for. Okay. Let's see. What's your predictions for the banned and restricted announcement so we can see if you called it in real time? I haven't really thought much about it because I don't want to get my hopes up for much. But in all honesty, I don't think anything's going to change for CC. I think if they change something for CC, it would be a very, very slight Fai or Oldhim nerf. Let's see. Let me pull up like an Oldhim deck. Like Oldhim Pummel. So my stance on Oldhim is that Winter's Wail should have been a base 3. I mean, honestly, that's my stance. They're not going to change that though. So the only thing that I can really see happening for them to touch Oldhim is, and it's a little drastic. It is a little drastic, but I could see them touching either Crown of Seeds or one of the shields, maybe Rampart. That would still leave. I mean, Crown of Seeds would be like the blowout card to really touch an Oldhim. I don't think they're going to do it. I think banning a legendary also looks really bad. But if they do touch like one half of it, I think Rampart would be kind of the easy route because then you still have your crown, but it's super inefficient to pitch for unless it's like on Tunic or on like a Null Rune turn anyway, and you'd still have a good shield in Stalagmite. So I could see that half happening just to kind of push Oldhim away from being able to just, turn any card into 2 block and preserve it in deck. Because like any of these cards that block 2 anyway, so like the Pummels, the Hypothermias, Man, is that really all Oldhim runs? I'm not sure on this list, honestly, but you can turn any one of those into preserving the same 2 HP with Crown, with Rampart, and keep the card in deck. And Oldhim is already good at keeping cards in deck because of his defense reaction, but he's just like a little too good at that. And Crown of Seeds also hides just so much information when you get to Crown every single turn. You know, your opponent doesn't know what's in there. It's likely something Oldhim wants to set up for pitch stack anyway. So, not like there's any, like, too many tricks, but it'll probably be like red pommels. It'll probably be cards that just weren't great for him to play out in that first cycle. But I don't know. I really don't think they're going to touch anything on Oldhim, but if they did, that'd be my guess. And then for Fai. For Fai, the one thing I could see them potentially touching, I don't want to say... I actually don't really know what they'd touch with Fai. It might just be Belittle. You know, a lot of people are talking about that. I don't really think it's a problem card right now, but it definitely would help Icelander actually have a pretty decent matchup into Fai. Because right now, Fai can literally do this, like you can already see it. Red Belittles and Minnowism kind of go main, but then you just add yellow Belittle, and your Icelander matchup becomes really free. I mean, it's not like an auto win by any means, but if you just draw your Belittles in sequence, it's insane. It is so good because the yellows really have no downside because Shuko is going to buff them up anyway, and you're just constantly pulling out these blues. So I could see that. It wouldn't really hurt Fai in most matchups, but it would help Icelander actually target him. And then Icelander also targets Oldhim pretty well. So that could kind of shift the meta enough. Beyond that, nothing's like too problematic by itself, honestly. No, I mean, there's been people talking about Art of War. I don't think they would touch Art of War. I don't want them to touch Art of War. It's a problem card in Fai only in that you can just kind of draw them back to back in first cycle, and those games are just like so low effort to win. But it is a good card in actually letting Fai try to beat Oldhim, like actually set up multiple turns of Art of Wars in a row. Obviously, we run it in Levia, so I appreciate that card existing. Nah, it could be like Lynx gets suspended or something, but then that just makes Fai, I don't know. I mean, he does run this card into Oldhim and Icelander, so if they do suspend this or something, then those matchups do become harder. But he's still going to be where he is in pretty much every other matchup with Mask of Momentum. I don't know. That's why I'm excited. I don't think anything's too clear for them to ban. And that's why I'm kind of thinking they just don't do anything. So I hope it hops up on stream. I really hope it does come up because I would like to go over it live. That'd be fun. But I did have to change the title of the stream. I was saying that this is probably, you know, banlist gameplay, first of its kind, right now live, but it's not going to happen. So instead, we'll just play some other decks. We can always warm up here. We can always warm up. All right, let's see. Ban Wounded Bull, Oakenold, Rainbow Belittle, Snapdragons. I don't think it'd be Snapdragons ever. Plus, Fai doesn't lose that much by just running Tide Flippers. In fact, some lists just run Tide Flippers to save the slot. It would really suck to see any Oldhim changes this ban list. Yeah, I really don't expect it, honestly. Thought the ban suspended article was posted already? No, that was a meme from Fino. Fino trolled the entire internet, as he always does. Fino. He posted a fake ban list, and I think a lot of people bought it. Where are you at, ban list? Yeah, he posted this, which is not real, just FYI. It is not real. But his take was that Belittle is banned, Channel Lake would be suspended, Crown of Seeds would be suspended, Ball Lightning would move from banned to limited. But then if you actually read the article, he's got the Rickroll text down here. So it was not real. It was not real. Marios, what'd you say about Lexi? Let's see. Sorry. The aviators worked really well, but the new ones are alright. Nah, dude. I can't wear aviators anymore. Jeffrey Dahmer is all the hotness now. Just because of that Netflix show, and he wore aviators, so we gotta get off it. So I went on a limb yesterday and decided to open a random Tales box. Started late in May, so it was before my time. Got myself a Horizon, so I'm toying with the idea of a Lexi deck. I really despise Ranger. I don't enjoy playing it. I don't enjoy playing against it. I think the problem with that deck is unfortunately not something that's really solvable, because its problem is that it's a card game and you can just have bad hands. And there's already enough of that feeling in Levia that I don't want to play another deck that kind of has that tenfold, where you just draw a hand that strictly does not function. Because at least in Levia, if you draw a bad hand, it does something. Like, you can still attack, it just won't turn off Blood Debt, and that probably sucks. Or, it can still attack, but it's all red, so it feels super inefficient. But with Lexi, you can quite literally draw a hand that says, oh, all these block for 2, and so if I block with it, it doesn't preserve much life. And none of them are attacks, so I kind of just punt. And that's not fun. That's not super fun for me. And playing against Ranger is the same thing. Like, I was playing against Ranger at Nationals, and I was on Fai, and the guy felt really excited about the matchup. Ice Lexi should be pretty good. But my game plan as Fai was quite literally have a great turn going second, and then just block, 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 wait for Lexi to brick. And as soon as Lexi bricked, I won the game. And that's just so unfun, like so unfun. And granted, it took like 6 or 7 turns for Lexi to brick, but she did, because she's Ranger, and it will eventually happen. And then when it did, it's so irrecoverable for the Ranger to come back, because you can't even really pivot with armor. I don't enjoy how that class plays. Because when you're winning, it's pretty much just because you ended the game in a fast enough fashion that like the brick never came up, or maybe you just didn't brick at all. But just to know that a brick kind of loses the game is not fun. Most of this game is balanced really well around that. That's my one problem with Levia, are the bricks as well. I think Ranger just has some issues with how arrows and weapons interact, similar to the issues with Bolton and the charge mechanic, but it's at least still mostly playable, just unoptimal. Yeah, I mean, thematically, Ranger is awesome, right? Ranger feels really cool. In fact, like even the attacks of Ranger are all still super niche. Like, it's hard to find 5 attacks as the baseline in any other class. That's kind of Ranger's thing. And 5 is a very strange breakpoint in this game, because a defense react doesn't cover it up. 1 card plus armor tends to cover it up, but you only get so many pieces of Battle Worn 2 armor. So it's a really cool, like 5 is a really great number for Rangers to play around with. It's an interesting spot for the rest of the game. But yeah, they just tend to fall flat with the bricks, the reloads, and all that. And reload is also a very strange, clunky thing now that New Horizons out. I mean, I'm not a Ranger player, so I can't like super comment on it. But you can't reload if you have even 1 card in Arsenal. So New Horizons got like a little bit of anti-synergy. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm not giving up on Ranger by any means. I honestly think Azalea is quite interesting. Azalea is, to me, the more interesting Ranger, because she's got, she kind of wants to run Death Dealer as her main weapon, and that extra draw in Ranger really helps smooth the deck along. And we saw Azalea get top 8 with that OTK style into the Oldhim, which almost worked. It did almost work. So I've got some faith there. And Lexi also does run over, or Azalea does tend to run over aggro pretty decently. So I've got some hope for her, but she definitely has a lot of very bad matchups as well, and does take a really skilled pilot to pull across the winds with. But it's a 5 for 2 cost below rate. It's below rate, but Ranger has a lot of 0 for 3 buffs, which is kind of equalized. Like, we see Nimblism as a free 0 for 3, but it's restricted on what it hits. Ranger's 0 for 3s apply to all her arrows. So that's kind of above rate, which like kind of balances it out. And then there's almost always like an actual hit effect on the arrows. So it's hard to call it like straight stat-wise below rate, because there's other parts of the Ranger tool bag that does help those land and be scary. I think all arrows should have had +1 power to the cost of loading. That's some scary shit. That would be terrifying. I really think 5 is a beautiful spot for arrows to exist at. I think 5 is awesome. I would not have liked them being 6. 6 is the brute way. Leave us with our toys. I was thinking of an equipment piece that was a quiver where you could store 4 or 5 arrows there from sideboard. Whenever you reload, you could reload from the quiver instead of hand. That kind of mechanic I've seen a lot of people talk about. I think it's genius. I think a way to store, I don't know about 4 or 5 arrows. That's kind of nuts. But maybe like an arrow of every color, or maybe just one arrow or something. Just a way to say, the brick hand can get solved with this like one-time reload from quiver. You know, make it a chest piece or something that kind of just lets you tuck a card underneath it or something, break to use, whatever it is. That would really smooth the long ranger for me, honestly. I'd like that. But anyway, thank you, chat, for being so active. It's lovely to talk. I'm going to jump into a game real quick. Unfortunately, it's not an exciting game because we literally will have the format change today. But, nonetheless, a game is a game. We'll mark it competitive because it'll be a Levia game. And God knows she's the most competitive hero these days. Not far off, honestly. Not far off. I think full aggro Levia. Shout out to Vasily. He's actually coming on the channel this week. We're going to do a proper like deck tech and then guide to playing this deck together, which will be awesome. Excited for that. But he really brought back a way of playing Levia that I thought was long dead. Hi. Good luck, have fun. Which is basically just present 12 damage a turn. If you can just present 12 damage a turn, in the old days, it didn't feel great. In the old days, that really seemed like your deck was falling flat. You couldn't outrace like Chain, you couldn't outrace Briar. But in this day and age, good luck, have fun. Okay, something's not working with the chat here. But what I was saying, in the old days, if you could just build your deck around presenting 12 a turn, you fell really flat against Chain and Briar specifically, obviously against like Starvo as well. But right now, if you can present 12 a turn as like kind of your minimum, which is what this deck's trying to do, with like your Pulpings, Wild Rides, all the go again, if that becomes like the floor of your turn, and then your spike turns are above that, you actually sit really pretty this format because there isn't a Chain that threatens to just outrace you by turn 4. Briar's also a bit of kind of like a high roll deck. If she wins, she wins. But she's also a deck that's got her own inconsistencies and kind of interrupts her ability to throw her big damage every turn. She's got her big damage, but it's not every turn. And this Levia deck is built to just throw 12 every single turn. And that becomes so overwhelming, and your pivot with armor is still insane. All right, something's bugged with this lobby. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to leave and restart. So I'm really enjoying... Oh, okay. Maybe Talishar's just down. Well, that's great. I'm really enjoying... There we go. Full aggro Levia because it's something I just didn't try. Didn't try in a long time because of the Starvo and the Chain meta. But it does work again. And props to Vasily for kind of discovering that this playstyle is still alive and well. And the inclusion of Rouse is also just so smart. I really hadn't tried that card since Everfest came out, but Swing Big helps it absolutely be playable. And then the one change I've been playing with that feels amazing is because you're not really playing every Rise out first cycle, you are just going to end up pitching these a lot of the time. There is a way to set up second cycle Rouse incredibly easily, which is with Yellow Wrecker. Basically all it takes is in first cycle, whether you just draw 4 or you have a Rouse in Arsenal, you can play the Rouse off of blue, reveal Wrecker as your yellow, and then any 6 attack, like your Boneyard, your Mark the Beast, Wild Ride, Pulping, whatever it is, reveal that to proc Rouse. Then you're pitching the yellow Wrecker back into deck to throw your 6 at them. And then what you're doing is preserving a 7 to then trigger with your subsequent Rouses that you've pitched. So just by adding, I'm only running 2 yellow Wrecker, but that really helps the consistency of pulling Rouse off. First cycle, definitely second cycle. It feels so good. Like I'm so impressed. I'm so impressed by Rouse right now. So yeah, I mean, it helps play to that style that I was talking about, where you just try to do 12 a turn. With Rouse, it'd be 13 a turn, but you're doing that with so many cards in this deck. Really enjoying it. Really enjoying it. All right, is Talishar just bugged, or like what is going on here? Come on. All right, Talishar, don't do this to me. Come on. Let's see it. Great game. All right, we'll wait again. Chat. What about something like a boot dagger that swings for 1, but you lose it when you lose your leg slot? Now, I think all the talk about like adding some kind of smaller, consistent weapon that's not a bow to Ranger is not the route they're going to take. So far, Flesh and Blood maintains theme really well. And the theme of Ranger is so amazing. Like, Ranger thematically is probably the most well-executed class. Maybe behind Icelander. I think Icelander also plays so well. I mean, just this Ice Wizard interruption playing out for like an end game. I think Icelander plays really thematically as well, but Ranger's definitely like either probably like number 1 or number 2 next to that. So I don't think they're gonna add that. I think they just need to fix the consistency of the arrows, and the quiver chest piece is something I could totally see coming. It's weird what's happening. We haven't received any report on those errors you see. Oh, Jotrick, sweet. Yeah, hey, we've got like the dev right here. All right, let's try to just jump in. Maybe something's bugged with my lobby. Oh, Jotrick, you're lying to me. What's going on? What's going on? This is not functioning. My internet's fine. Internet's going strong. Oh, all right, we're actually in a real game. Hi. All right, okay, well, hold up, same thing. Oh, there we go. It was just lagging a bit. Well, this is good. Okay. Now, Fai is actually a tough one still for this list, because he is the deck that can also throw very similar damage to you. And he does demand some interaction. So one of the things I'm trying with this list is I'm running Skull Crushers specifically for Fai and Bravo, because this list doesn't want to block. And so that extra bit of block in equipment can just carry your 12 damage turns like 1 turn cycle longer before you need to start blocking, because this is going to interrupt a mask. It's going to stop a crush effect. I've been enjoying that, so we'll put it to the test in this matchup for sure. The other thing is we're going to change the yellow Recuromps towards the yellow Deadwoods to try to banish the Phoenix Flame, so that'll be cool. And he is definitely going to attack us going first. That's just what Fai does, and we will otherwise leak damage. So in this matchup, ooh, I kind of feel safer going first, not gonna lie. There's so many non-blocks. Yeah, we'll go first. We'll go first. There really are just so many non-blocks, and Fai will swing. Fai's never respect that you could fill Graveyard. Okay, what is going on? Jotrick. Jotrick. Test. Lag. Alright. Jotrick. My guy. My Talishar developer. Something is going wrong. Jesus, let me play a game. I actually really wanted to play against Fai. People have been talking about this matchup in the Discord. It would have been cool. I don't know, can I refresh? Do I stay in? Invalid auth key? Alright, come on. Come on. I see all these other people in games. Are they real games? Seems like it. This is a Hexcore Levia. Okay, yep, they're taking game actions. Alright. They are taking game actions. Okay, well, we got it in this one. Hi. Good luck, have fun. My client is lagging, I think. Oh, yep, look, my message just disappeared. Okay, well, we'll still pretend as if we can play this matchup. I just don't know. Just don't know if we can. Against Dromai, I should have a pretty easy time of it, but the extra go again doesn't hurt. You can throw these in. Yeah, people are playing and it's all okay. Control F5, maybe clear your cache. Alright, sorry. We're going to leave this lobby. Alright, Control F5. Try one more time. Oh, sorry, I didn't even read what that guy said. Alright. Once again, it's not appearing. Oh, come on. Come on. Alright, let me actually check my internet. 1 second. Alright. It might have been that my cat hit the Ethernet cable, but it was saying I had functioning internet, so I don't know. Maybe that does make a difference. This. Sorry. One sec. Some lag. All right, that does seem better though. Maybe that worked. Maybe that worked. Yeah, other people are in the game, so let's go ahead and give it a go. Against the Dromai, you can bring in some of your like anti-fatigue package if that really is the route you think they're gonna go. My one issue about bringing it in is that against Oldhim, you don't mind going to 64, but against Dromai, I actually kind of want to keep it slim. I don't think we need this to win. Don't think we need it to win. We'll at least try without it. And then we'll go ahead and go second. Ready. Okay. Yeah, I think we fixed it. I think we fixed it. Okay. Ready. All right. I think we did. All right, nice. All right. I've said it before on the stream, and this is something that just maintains, that is just still an issue with this build. Vasily claims that you go second in every matchup. You kick off with like a 12 damage turn every game. You just have the nuts. You take tempo, blah, blah. But the problem is, this happens with Levia. Like, you just have this hand. And this hand means it's so much safer to go first. But, I mean, granted, you draw the Wild Ride, you draw the Pulping, you can just start popping off. But if you don't draw that, this is exactly what happens. Okay, so I get that he wanted to generate Ash, but filling the graveyard here feels pretty good. I think it's pretty safe to at least fill 2. If we only fill 2, though, then we can't actually pop off with even an Endless, but I would have to fill it all with Blood Debt right now, which is not worth it. So I'll keep it this way. I don't want to lose all of these. I do want to draw more cards, though. I think we'll play it a little safe and just go like this. I don't want to just ditch every Graveling. Gravelings are actually some of your best poppers because they tend to be some of the least playable hand by hand. They're definitely massive on like Art of War, Dread Screamer, discarding Mark the Beast, discarding Beast Within. They're insane, but not every hand. Nice sleeves. Thank you. I actually just totally plugged that at the beginning, Jotrick. I did. Plugged hard. I did tell them they don't have to be patrons of Talishar, but we can go ahead and lie because you guys do deserve more patrons. So you do have to be a Mansant patron to unlock this when you connect to your account. You don't have to be a Talishar patron, but hey, it'd be hella appreciated because this site is great. Site slaps, as they say. All right, draw us a playable. Oh, God, even this is so weak. So weak. Well, highest priority in Arsenal would be Endless. So we'll just throw 6. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. Did you feed your internet hamster? Hey, don't make fun of me. I pay for good internet. I could get fiber here if I wanted to. Even though I live in the middle of freaking nowhere, there is fiber internet in this town. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it. Oh my God, my hair is like actually such a mess. When is it not though? It's hard. I didn't grow up with long hair, so we're just trying to use the right shampoos. Trying to, you know, put the oils in or whatever the hell's required. As a player, I'm super happy to be able to watch Flesh and Blood streams. That's what we're here for. So funny enough, you know, about my work situation and all that. I work. Okay, I mean, Swing Big would have been 2 more damage, so we were 1 card off from having a 2 damage higher first turn. That's not super relevant, so I guess we are glad that we didn't just block with 3 Gravelings. There wouldn't have been that much of a difference turn 1. So I work for a consulting firm out in New York City. And tried fiber internet at a friend's house. It feels pretty insane. Yeah. It's pretty good. Good for your diet. Good for these streams. It'd be nice. It would be. We'll look into it. I work for this consulting firm out in New York City. The issue is the higher ups aren't really concerned about consistent work. They'll take a big client and then kind of move on pretty quick, and like take a break, go travel across Europe or whatever the hell they want to do. Yeah, we can get rid of this. Our hand's still not anything special, so we'll just play out the swing big and call it good. So there tends to be a lot of downtime at this job. When there is a client, there's a lot of work to do. I am busy as can be. But when there isn't, and there, are these gaps in work, I don't have the capital to fall back and just take vacations nonstop. Jesus, I can't do that at all. But what I can do is provide some streams, which has been a lot of fun. Really fun, actually. This has been like a way to really kind of tie my life together as of late, because I wasn't doing much beforehand. We'll get this one out of here. I guess there is a option to roll scabs first to try to just swipe Dromai. In fact, that probably is worth it. Sorry, we'll undo. What I don't want is a 1-2-1, but the payoff is pretty big because we'd be wasting this card otherwise. So we'll go ahead and roll it. I might just swing Claw, clear Dromai anyway. That doesn't seem awful. I rolled a 3. Yeah, no, I mean, obviously, we're not going to re-roll that. Yeah, I would prefer to clear the Dromai, actually, instead of swing big, so we'll go for that. I did the same thing, but I code instead of stream. That's what I should be doing. I should just start flexing some other skills, like, picking up React or something like that, but streams have been fun. They've been super fun. And they make me a lot happier. I mean, moving to the middle of nowhere is rough for someone in their early 20s who wants to live in a city. And that was the dream. That's absolutely what I wanted to do after college. But Woman Sant is currently in a PhD program at Cornell. And you don't say no to those kinds of things when they line up. Like, that is so insanely good for her. So we moved out here, and it's the middle of nowhere, but she needs to be near her lab. And for me, I gotta keep saying somehow. There's not an LGS, which would be kind of option number 1, but that doesn't exist. So streams have really kind of done it for me. So I appreciate the ability to do it. I appreciate the viewers. Like, it's not about income or anything. It's literally just something to do, something to keep me sane. So that's been really fun. Really fun. And there's other big projects coming up. I deleted the Clash teaser, but Clash is coming out this week, just FYI. Clash is being announced later this week. I think I have it scrolling. Clash announcement on Wednesday. Yeah. I mean, there's things coming up that'll be really fun to follow through with, so. Okay. Man, we're really not finding... See, this is the issue with this kind of Levia deck, is it is quite packed with the most aggro cards you can play. Like triple Art of War, triple Blood Rush, triple Pulping, triple Wild Ride, but we just didn't draw any. And so if your game plan is set on being full aggro, what happens in an aggro mirror when you just don't draw that? It's pretty rough. It is pretty rough. We'll take one. Yes, I live in the country, middle of nowhere, so I know your pain. Oh, brother, isn't it rough? At least I'm not living alone. If I was living alone, I would have really likely gone insane. But it is nice to basically live with my best friend in Woman Sant. What's Clash again? You'll have to tune in on Wednesday. You'll have to tune in on Wednesday to find out. I got travel 1.5 or 2 hours just play in person. Jesus. That's super similar. There's an LGS that just started hosting Flesh and Blood. It's like 25 minutes away. The player base is completely new players. Like, they don't even have CC decks if they wanted to play. They just don't even own them. So it's definitely not the best competitive practice, but it's great for community building. Being able to show up and actually like win armory promos again is really cool. Plus they know who I am, which is also fun because as a new player, if you just have like a content creator walk in, I mean, that makes you stick with the game like 10 times over. Like, oh my God, our local base has like someone who can help build the community, which is me. So that's cool. Dread Screamer clears Moragai and then lets us throw Swing Big at face. So we'll take the extra 2 damage to just let the Ashwing sit. That seems fine with me. Seems fine with me. They also cycled out of their arsenal here, which I don't know exactly why. Oh, it's because it was a sigil. They needed a go again card. But they had Moragai this turn, so they probably could have just kept sigil in arsenal. Can't wait for the live ban reaction. It's what we're going for. I really hoped it hit before stream started, but if they're going for like, what is it, time in California, aren't they like 3 hours behind? 10:41. Oh yeah, 3 hours behind. If they go for noon in California, which is what some video games do, then we will be live for the ban, which will be cool. Which will be cool. Love to go over that. Hottest takes on the internet. JK, probably pretty mild because Levia will definitely not be impacted, so how much can I really get worked up about it? Yeah, let's clear Moragai. Blue Dread Screamer is actually so beautiful in this matchup for exactly that. Exactly that. Just perfectly clears Moragai. It's honestly reasonable that nothing gets banned or restricted. That's my take. I really don't think anything's going to get touched. I think Blitz, because they did say in their last... I don't have it here, but they did say in their last article that they wanted to be a bit more heavy-handed in Blitz with bannings to really shake up like every season of Blitz. And technically we're not moving into like a new season of Blitz or anything, but Blitz will get played at Worlds. So, I mean, that is Blitz gameplay that is coming up. That is like super important. So if they're going to go for bans, I could see them just completely flipping Blitz on its head. They keep saying Icelander's like the super oppressive deck in Blitz, but we didn't really see that in Skirmish season. Like Icelander did fine, but this Skirmish season really was pretty varied. I think the high-level players just sit out of a lot of the Skirmish events. Like, I only went to 1 Skirmish all season. Or no, I went to 2. Yeah, I did go to 2. I don't know. Like, I'm not looking to travel for Skirmishes. I think most other people aren't as well. And before Soul Harvest gets banned for being a blue 6-power 3 block. Ah! Talk about not allowed. They don't want us to have nice things. But it's okay, because we now run Rouse. It's okay, Brute players, we have a 3 for 7. It may not have 6 printed on it, but this card's beautiful, and it's functional for once. Alright, I feel like I moved my camera. Am I actually in the middle of the frame? Nah, I do lean, so I need to move this again. There we go. It's my hair. My hair makes me lean, so heavy. Last I checked, Prism was doing well. Yeah, that was actually pretty awesome to see. The Prism players will still have her. Still have her available. And she's a natural counter to like Guardians being strong in Blitz, which is nice as well. Because you don't want to just see like Oldhim dominating the format, which I don't even know if he was after Crown was suspended or banned, whatever it was. Like I don't know. I don't play Blitz enough to even know if Oldhim's good. I thought he like wasn't anymore, but I mean, people still definitely play that deck, whether it's good or not. Okay, we drew an all red hand, basically. I mean, the Art of War can pay for this, which is not great, because then what would we do with the Wild Ride? So in theory, we're kind of just looking to either play out Endless Maw, pitch here, one of these, Arsenal Wild Ride. That sounds pretty good. We'll use one of these to pop his Dragon Swings. We'll use the Graveling. Ooh, actually, that's not necessarily true, because we're going to put the Art of War and the Graveling next to each other, so I'd rather get rid of the Hungering. Because there isn't a shuffle with this list. Oldhim is still good in the format. Okay, good to know. Yeah, I have no idea. I just play Levia in Blitz. I really don't give Blitz much thought. I just play Levia and have normally like decent results. She's not like her blunders, like the way we drew this game in Blitz, are normally game over like pretty instantly. In Blitz, you need those big turns out of the gate, or you just don't really do anything. Especially because, you know, Levia, most of the cards in her deck need that graveyard. You need to find the cards that don't need her graveyard to really do much. So if you just draw your deck in the wrong order as Levia in Blitz, it is major feels bad. But Husk is still a card. Husk is still a card, but, you know, Chain is still a hero. I don't know if y'all have, like, Chain players locally for Blitz, but let me tell you, Chain in Blitz is so damn scary. Like, I don't know why most people don't seem to, like, really be hype. All right, looks like not yet. Most people don't seem to be really hype on Chain in Blitz, but Chain has that insane armor suite, like the full armor suite of Husk, now Crown, Grasp, Creepers. That is freaking nuts. Nuts. And with how, you know, small life pool you have in Blitz, if he just high rolls you on like an early Art of War draw or like an early Revel or something, the game is just locked. It's just so over. He is so unfun to play against in Blitz. I'm sure playing him is fun. But man, he's got so many draws in his deck that just say, oh, I'm keeping my hand. You don't actually threaten anything because my armor's insane. And we just kind of put you on lethal in 2 turns. And it's crazy. It is so crazy. Deck is good. Chain and Blitz can be stopped by Oldhim, but you have to play quite aggressively to wear him down. Yeah, that's the other problem I was having against Chain in Blitz, is because you don't have a sideboard, it is harder for a deck like Levia or even Rhinar that I played at last Armory to just commit to Fatigue, because you don't get the sideboard in defense reactions. So if you try to just, oh, it's Chain, I'm going to Fatigue him, you're probably not running full suites of defense reactions because Wizard exists in the format, right? So you don't want to risk having like Sinks and Fates in your deck. So you don't get to have as much block into a Chain to really pull off Fatigue. And it sucks because it used to be so easy. Like even a Rhinar, even Levia could do it, where you see him in CC and you're like, all right, I'm not racing this dude. This dude's nuts. So we're just going to board in defense reacts. We're going to board in like some sigils, whatever it is. And we're just going to let him deck out. But it is not so accessible to pull that off in Blitz. It's just not. Now, Oldhim can probably do it, right? Like you're saying. But okay, you said Oldhim can do it, but you play aggressively. Interesting. Wait, what is happening here? My lord. This is a very slow Dromai game. Very slow Dromai game. Which is rough, because this matchup's like already very slow. So I appreciate y'all sticking around. Whew. Lord. Rainbow Pummel Prism has been my muse as of late. Can feel a bit bad when the pummels don't come conveniently, but there are games where the opponent can't play the game. That is the best feeling in Blitz. It's so bad on the receiving end. But if you take tempo in Blitz, with Disruption especially, the game just ends. It's so nice. Like, I was playing Rhinar at my last Armory last Friday, and I went 3-1. Unfortunately got second. I lost to a damn Chain. But it feels so good. I hit some Intimidates that just were like, you know, the best cards to throw my opponent off their turn, but then they still had to block because of barraging damage or whatever it was. And when that happens, God, the game just feels like so over for your opponent. It's so hard to win those like tempo cycles off of just one bad turn in Blitz. Just one can absolutely throw it. All right. Well, he kept his full hand, which is a little scary. Because our hand doesn't really block with 2. I don't even want to block with 1, in theory. But I will. I mean, I am going to pop his dragons if he gives me the shot. The problem is Mark won't fill the graveyard, which is rough. And we can't just block with, like, you know... We can't just block and still play through Wild Ride, because then we'd increase our odds of hitting misses. Which you don't want to do. It's a little rough. Maybe he just doesn't swing. Sometimes they get scared, but I mean, he can at least poke 3 Arcane if he swings Asvalai. This is also just... This is definitely not right to play these Burn Them All so early. They're both going to break this turn in theory. Maybe I actually... If this is all he plays, maybe I don't pop Asvalai so that the Burn Them Alls break. Or he can probably layer it where he checks this one first, it breaks, and then he goes Burn Them All, banish the one that broke. Ah, but he played a passing. So they're both gonna... Okay, so he can still layer him that way, I think. We'll see if Talishar, like, lets him do it that way. Okay, it didn't. They just both broke. Oh, that's fine with me. I mean, that wouldn't happen in the real game, I'm pretty sure, but, you know, it is Talishar. Okay, this is good. We did want our full hand to actually make this turn operable. We did. I don't hate the idea of assuming we draw blue off Art of War. We could just say, go again, play the Endless Maw into Wild Ride, as long as we draw a blue, still give us a card in Arsenal. Banish the Mark of the Beast. If we just say +1, then we're risking Wild Ride first to not necessarily play Endless Maw. So we'll say go again and banish. The go again on Wild Ride. Okay, well, we didn't draw blue, actually, so now we're safer to just play out the Wild Ride, try to increase our odds of drawing a resource card, and it doesn't matter if it misses, actually. Yeah, so we did waste a damage by drawing it in this sequence, but yeah, we're gonna throw this at Dromai. Okay. Well, it would have had go again anyway, but this is fine. This is fine. In theory, we can even swing Claw, clear Asvali. Okay, we could do this. I don't hate this. Claw, clear Asvali, Claw, clear passing. Arsenal Endless. That way, we already turned off Blood at this turn, but we don't actually push any graveyard. That seems fine. I wonder if Icelander would be able to beat Chain and CC if Chain was still legal. Oh, I think so. I think that would have been actually a very cool matchup to watch, because the Icelander couldn't full fatigue. But you'd have really cool pockets of interruption. You'd probably run like Alluvian. Alluvian's going to build up your Waning Moon swings. You'd want to actively play out your like Aether Ice Veins, throw them off. I mean, any matchup where Husk didn't get like insane value normally felt really good. So like when you played Fatigue Levia or like Club Levia into Chain and they took Husk, it felt insanely good because they assumed you're trying to race them, but they're like, no, I'm fatiguing you. And then Husk does nothing. And Icelander would similarly put them in a spot where like they just can't get Husk value. They'd run like Aether Ironweave or something, which is a good card, but Husk value in guaranteeing like a race works for Chain was always nuts. So that matchup would have been quite good for Icelander, I think. I'm sure people play it in Blitz quite a bit, which would be cool to watch. I definitely want to start playing Blitz a bit more, but people don't like it. Whenever I start playing Blitz, we lose like 20 viewers, which I'm not so into it for the views per se. Like, this is just fun. Like I said, it maintains my sanity. But it is unfortunate to be having like a great time, have a really interactive chat, and then all of a sudden I start a Blitz game and everyone leaves. That does feel a bit bad. Basically, you have to swing at him with huge attack after huge attack to force him into wasting resources. Winter's Wail was never enough. I won against the Chain and Blitz as Oldhim by doing this. Yeah. I mean, and Oldhim has, Oldhim does have a great ability to, hold on, what did we pitch? We pitched, unfortunately, I think our blue's not going to be close enough because we had Wrecker, Beast Within, Graveling, Art of War. So we won't actually draw Rouse in that hand, but it would have been nice because we could reveal Graveling. We'll still put Rouse closest to, and then Deadwood in this in Arsenal. Actually need to start paying to pitch stacking a bit more because in this list you can pitch stack a really strong late game because there's no shuffle and you have cards that naturally pitch really well. Namely like Blue Dread Screamer next to like a yellow Graveling feels really good. Your Rouse feels really good. You can pitch Blood Rushes. I'm not a fan of like building a Blood Rush turn because it can get messed up when you play out other Blood Rushes in Art of War's first cycle. It messes up where you're drawing cards. And so it's really tough to like actually make your Blood Rush line up with like a perfect hand. I mean, you can pitch like a Blood Rush next to a Beast Within. That always helps. Nice. Yeah, the Blitzman is weird. I'm curious what they touch. Yeah. So we're not going to play Blitz until we see the bans for sure. Which, by the way, we're just going to constantly refresh this. I did message my LSS contact and asked him when it's coming out because last time the ban list got released, he did let me know like 10 minutes in advance, which was cool. Felt like I was in the mind of James White. So we'll see. We'll see if he messages. I'll open up that chat on the next page actually, just in case he messages me. I mean, we're in like such an insanely good spot here. It would be really hard to throw this game. We finally found some of our aggressive turns. He messed up with the burn them all. and we've maintained Dragon Clear so insanely well. So here we're just going to go ahead, banish Pulping, say go again. Ooh, what do we draw? Nice. So we're going to banish here, which is going to leave us with 2 floating, go again. So we can play Swing Big into Pitch Rouse for Endless, Arsenal Boneyard. That sounds perfectly fine to me. We'll keep both of those. We'll say go again, banish. We can even lead with the Endless. Not like the Quicken super matters for him. But we only have 2 misses now, so it's not actually not a real difference. We don't need to like play Swing Big, close the chain, or anything. Ira is super fun at the moment. I'm not a huge fan of Ira. She feels like she's the epitome of just do the same thing, you know? Like, and when you just do the same thing on repeat, like, it's kind of just... I mean, Fai has a little bit of that problem. Like, Fai definitely has a bit of that, but Ira is the epitome of that. And yeah, she's got her cool plays that feel insanely good to pull off, where it's, oh, Tunic, Flying Kick, 7. Yeah, that feels pretty nice, but also it's like a solved puzzle. It's just how the deck works. Everyone's caught on to it. And she's like a value check. You either beat that value or you don't. I also haven't seen her in a while though, so to be fair, like I don't really know how she is. I just don't think she's super fun. Personally. I'll tell you what, she's definitely not fun in Commoner. She's a headache and a half in Commoner. Just because her consistency is like kind of above and beyond what almost any other deck can pull off. Because Commoner is the format where like power is tanked so much that basically Ira giving +1 every turn feels like the most broken mechanic in the game. It's nuts. Ira and Fai kind of do the same thing, right? Like Fai's going to pull back the Phoenix for +1 on his turn. Ira's going to give the +1 on like anything on her turn. But both of them feel so good in that format just because it's consistency. And consistency is king. All right, we haven't seen a Blood Rush yet, but we're going to try to sit on the Boneyard for the Blood Rush turn. I mean, it's so free. Sit on a Boneyard, it's 18 damage. It's just how it is. Kadachi into CNC for 7 is a huge tempo swing. Yeah, okay, to be fair, those play patterns, I love it. When your opponent's like, oh, it's just a Kadachi turn, and then you go Kadachi, CNC. Whew, Lord. Or even like Kadachi Erase Face. Sheesh. I don't know if that's actually that good, but man, yeah. The CNC play for sure is the huge headache. We're just like, God, why couldn't you have just swung with another Kadachi? Love of God. Benji's way more interesting than Ira. Oh yeah, Benji's very interesting. For new players though, Benji is probably the worst thing to ever play against them. New players just don't get to play the game against a Benji, and it does feel rough. But beyond that, Benji's very cool, yeah. Yeah. I think Ira fell off. Heroes have become too degen, and she's too fair. Heroes have become too degen. I mean, I think Blitz, unfortunately, like, kind of just is degen. I don't love it. I'm not one to, like, deeply criticize it. Holy sh... What did he do? Where's the play logs over here? That's right. He played Rake double Dromai. Well, that's fun. We don't have a go again hand to try to clear double Dromai. I'm getting a phone call. Alright, it's my dad. You want to talk to Papa Mansant on stream? Hey, Pa.
Hey, sorry I missed your call. I was in a little meeting.
Oh, it's all good. I'm actually, I'm streaming right now. My windows are limited. So say hi.
Hello, everyone.
Okay. Alright, I'll call you back.
Okay, I'll talk to you later.
What? Alright. Okay, so if we do roll scabs, assuming we hit, then we still need to turn off Blood Debt, so it would be Boneyard into a Dromai, pitch the blue to claw into a Dromai, so we can lose these cards pretty happily. So we'll go ahead and block with that. Yeah, I'm not one to like super criticize Blitz because I don't play it enough, but I do think inherently it's flawed. It's just this, it's a format that pretends as if it is a old man's hand. It's a format that pretend. Oh, rolled a 6. Holy shit. Well, I mean, that is like quite the golden result, if I do say so myself. We didn't even plan for a 6, but you know when you hit that 6, you kind of just win. I mean, this is literally like the best turn to hit a 6. That's insane. Insane. Papa Sant. Yep. No, actually, I have my mom's last name, so he is not Van Sant. My mom is Van Sant, so we'd have to think of something else for him. But okay, train of thought. Yes, I think Blitz thematically just totally misses the mark because Blitz is sold as like this intro format. It's like the fast format where you sit down, like you play your young heroes, have a short game. But what is the theme? Like, what makes that gameplay young hero gameplay? Nothing, other than the life being low. And that's actually what Clash format is all about. Now, there's a scrolling announcement. Clash will be announced Wednesday. We've got a great promo video for it. We've got 8 content creators behind me to do a debut tournament. We have a sponsor. We have deck building available on a certain website that will all be announced on Wednesday. Clash is going to hopefully land really well. I'm very excited to debut it. And ideally, what it's for is to mimic like what Blitz should have been, a thematically young hero format. Still short games, but more depth and with a lower power level. To really make it feel like you're playing a young hero on their way to adult hero levels of power. But you're not yet. You are not. You are a young hero, so you don't get some of the pretty toys. Anyway, Clash. All right, let's see. Okay, here's the deal. I didn't want to drop Clash today because I thought the ban list was going to come out today, and I wanted to like split my announcements. Because it'd be hard to like get Clash to land in the midst of everyone being excited about the ban list. So you got to wait till Wednesday. You do have to wait until Wednesday. But Clash is... Wait, what the hell happened? Can I open a picture in the browser? I think I can, right? Clash. Here you go. Here's the teaser. Clash, new young hero format. This will be the thumbnail that you all need to click on Wednesday. It'll be fun. It'll be a good announcement. A lot of cool people working on this with me. It's not just me. It ain't just my love project. Oh. In fact, I'm actually gonna do a trial run that Wednesday, and I can't get it on stream because I don't have my camera gear, so I can't record live games the way I want to. But all right, goodbye dating site. Goodbye. But I am meeting up with a new player, someone who used to play Magic, who's converting, doesn't want to play Magic anymore. He is coming over on Wednesday to play some Flesh and Blood, and we are going to play Clash, and we'll do a real trial run of how well it lands to a new player, which is not necessarily the idea. The idea is thematics, but the new player experience should be better as well. So, like I said, sorry guys, Wednesday, apologies. But I don't know, man, like this article ain't dropping, so maybe I would have been safe. Maybe today would have been fine. Just didn't want to crowd the internet, you know? Smart man. F in chat for chat69, we hardly knew you. Chat69.xyz. If anyone actually types that in to your browser, I feel so bad for you. I feel so bad for you. I can't imagine what will happen to your computer in the wake of that. Also, I don't actually come from MTG, so it'll be interesting because I don't know what an MTG player is really looking for in this game. Normally, what I would show people who came from MTG when I was at my old game store, I would bring a Raiden Bolton deck, and I would bring a mid-range dash deck. And it was some of the best gameplay. I mean, God, it just felt so good. To play Raiden, which, you know, plays around your Tunic, your 5-card hands, you gotta craft them carefully to really get your rate going, and then mid-range dash, which could preserve HP early to make her items the win con, or just burn through if she had like a strong start. God, it was good. I would show everyone who wanted to play Fab that matchup, and they loved it. They loved the game. But then you start playing like, you know, Blitz, and you're like, oh, well, I only played 3 turns, so that wasn't great. Or then you start playing CC, and you're like, oh, well, I can't afford all these legendaries, so I think I'm out. And those experiences don't line up well for sure for new players. It's not great because we don't have a blue, but I still think I want to play. I want to get the Graveling Growl out of Arsenal. It's a weaker Arsenal, for sure. If he swings the Asvali, which he most likely will, then we'll probably just block with Dread Screamer, come in with the Endless Maw instead. But if he doesn't swing with Asvali, then I'd rather just not block this turn and go in for Endless Maw, or sorry, Dread Screamer here, pitch Wild Ride for Graveling. But he's gonna swing. Oh, he doesn't. Okay, he doesn't swing with Asvali. Sure. So then we go back to what this plan was. You need to release those mid-range deck lists. Yeah, I can do that. I can find those. I'm not even sure if I have the proper deck list. I just like count it to 60 with these decks and I just bring them around. I do actually not have the Dash deck anymore. It got lost in France with everything else. But I still have the Bolton deck. I didn't bring Bolton to France because no one cared about testing into Bolton. Just show them the pro tournament structure and they'll switch. I've heard that from a lot of people too, that like that was the big allure, was seeing, holy crap, like this game believes in high level play. It believes in the phrase, play the game, travel the world. Which I think used to be like a Magic slogan, but I don't know. If people come from MTG, card prices should not be a problem. That's only half true because there definitely are those MTG players who, I mean, there's definitely the type, right? They go to their LGS like every Friday for standard or draft, whatever it is, or Monday for modern. They show up, they just play the deck they really like. They don't really care about spending money on like the meta. And sometimes they have a good run, but they just stay local. They stay as like a local player. And that's kind of where they just exist. And those people really do complain about card prices. They do. So there is a Magic player that will complain about it. Not all of them. Like a Commander player wouldn't care, but I don't think a Commander player would really come to Fab yet. Yeah, themes of Fab, definitely a high selling point. That's what I'm saying. That's why Clash is based around a thematically young format. Okay, so we should just win. I mean, they're on 8. They're on 8, and they're not trying to swing with this board. This is the issue when you take Ghostly Touch, is I don't think the Dromais really know how to play for the late game. Not like this guy has played necessarily perfect, like the Burn Them Alls might have just been like a Talishar bug, but overall, like if you're going for the Ghostly Touch, you need to try to just fatigue the Levia out, which actually this deck is really resistant to, because it has a lot of proactive graveyard fill, so... Okay, I mean, we can either go for a second Blood Rush or just pitch this whole hand to have a 21 damage turn. I'm pretty fine with going for 21 damage. 21 damage sounds pretty good when they're at 8. I do want to see a Light Guardian in Fab. Yeah, I don't know if they'd ever call it straight up like a Paladin, right? But like a Light Guardian would definitely fit that. Like I don't think we're going to see like a Druid. But Briar as an elemental Runeblade was basically that. I mean, in Standard right now, Rakdos midrange costs 560 and Grixis 600. That seems a little bit cheaper than the top Fab decks, right? I don't know the exact price of like an Oldhim deck, but it gets up there. Like Prism definitely got up there. Maybe that's comparable. That's probably comparable to like a top deck right now. Because even Levia, Husk tanked, which is nice. But even Levia right now really needs like Crown, which is what, like 140 or something. Scabs is like 60 plus this, like 120. So you're looking at like maybe 300 in equipment. You don't need the Tunic, but like the Tunic adds like an extra 100. My Oldhim CC deck was around $500, $600. Okay, yeah, so comparable. I feel like I didn't spend that much money on Fab. Because it was so quick. It was just like, oh, I'm buying into a game. Let's just drop the money. That I don't even like remember what I spent. But now that I had to piece it out because of the whole FedEx thing where they lost my stuff, I had to file a claim, you know? I had to go through all the steps. and list like what was in the decks, and Jesus, it was actually a lot. It was. And it's awful. I still can't believe that shit is missing. It is bane of my existence right now. A deck you have to change every new release, so it costs way more over the period of time. Yeah. But I've heard some people complaining about the way Fab does Living Legend. Like, there were players who bought into Starvo, albeit, hey, that was your mistake. Deck was beyond toxic. I'm glad it's gone. But even Prism, like, there were players that bought into Prism and only got a couple months of playtime because then she rotated. And that means that new players, like, are they really looking at Living Legend as a way to choose what decks to play? Because if they try to choose, like, if they want to buy into this game and they choose a deck that doesn't have a lot of LL points, it's probably just not a very competitive deck, which is then worse for, like, how well they're going to do at armories if they just walk into a bunch of seasoned players. They're going to be on, like, a Levia or, you know, Azalea, whatever it is, and probably not have a great time. They might have a great time, like, over the course of their play experience. Nice, GG. But if they look at Living Legend to dictate the first deck they buy, they probably won't have a great time. But then you kind of do have to caution players to start doing that. Otherwise, you're going to run into the issue of, oh, well, you bought into Prism and she was gone in like 2 months. And that feels also worse for their wallet. LO format incoming, though. Yeah, that's true. I won't play it. There's nothing you can do in this world to get me to play that format. All right. I mean, that wasn't that interesting of a game, unfortunately. The Dromai games like tend to go that way. I don't think there's much in that matchup that can go wrong unless you just like get, because like even against another deck, like if they open with an early Tomotai or something, Levia can kind of shrug that off. The one thing that can really go wrong is Dominia at some very tight point with Blood Debt, and they banish like your only way to turn off Blood Debt. Like that can go wrong. That is a very slim chance though. That matchup's just fine. It's just fine. I don't know. Should we play Levia? We'll play like Levia one more time, I guess. Competitive CC. Oh, another player's already in the game. All right, still no ban list as well. Competitive CC. Oh man, chat's popping off. Sorry, every time I look away, my glasses are also like a 4-year-old prescription, so my vision is just ass. So let me catch up real quick. Squint. I bought into Prism over something knowing that I'd be swapping to Dromai. It felt fine. Okay, that's good. It's a good anecdote. LOL, I was lucky enough to play Prism when she came out. Was ahead of the meta. That is good. I mean, that's like the right time to play, right? Because Prism actually lasted in the format, I think, kind of their ideal time frame, which is, you know, like a full year-ish, like a year plus. Look, have fun. All right, Dash. You never know what version of Dash they're on. I think these days you assume it's more control. Is probably... I would hedge that they go more control, for sure. It just tends to be the better build. Aggro Dash like had its one day, you know? Had its time in the limelight, but then that was it. So we're going to hedge a tiny bit that it's control. Add the Deep Rooted. I'm not entirely sure. But either way, this is a card that you don't really love blocking with if it is aggro. So it's a safe swap for Deep Root. I don't know. Vasily legitimately always says go second. We'll just keep trying going second, but I just can't see how it's right. Like, it feels like every game I would prefer first. Like, every game I play, I would just prefer first. But, you know, we'll do it. We'll do it. Like, even this hand, what do you really want to just play a Blood Rush with no graveyard? Not really. You can get to 3 by, like, breaking Goliath. The Blood Rush goes to graveyard and the card you discard. Sure, that is one way to do it. But then you're out Goliath just for a good turn 1 with 0 graveyard. And something probably with Blood Debt banished. I don't love it. I don't love it. Spectra is just toxic. Yeah. Regardless of whether or not it was like a balanced mechanic, which, I mean, to be fair, like Lead the Charge was a card that could get around it. It was toxic. Like it was just toxic. It was gross. I hate Spectra. But then you're seeing Dromai's issue. Dromai's having a hard time. Because it's hard for her to really out... Okay, are you shooting? Alright. This... Okay, people need to learn. Maybe I need to like make a video talking about how to play against Levia. I don't want to, because then people would get better at playing against her. But like, you should just not do this. You should just not swing. Because if my hand was like... You know, if my hand blocked more, I would just dump it, right? Like, I would just get everything to the graveyard. Just to start with, like, you know, more tempo plays when I get my turn going. Or if my hand's, like, just not very aggressive. The blocking cards tend to not be the aggressive cards. So I can dump them to try to draw into the Pulping Wild Ride. Like, all that is just... That's just good. Now, this hand in particular, I'm probably going to get punished by him swinging, but that doesn't mean... That doesn't mean it's right. Just FYI for everybody. Have they given you any indication of hope that they'll find your stuff? So at this point, since I finally filed the claim and basically told them how much money is on the line. Okay, good. If this is all they do, I'm fine. In fact, I'd prefer it that way. It means I wasn't punished. Yeah, if you want to swing at the queen, you better not be swinging for only 2. Yep. I usually choose to go first, and only if I think my opponent has never played into Levia before. That's my thing. If I think they've never played into Levia, I'll go second, because you just like start with 3 to 4 cards in graveyard, and it feels really good. Like in Blitz, my god. If your opponent doesn't know what Levia does, and you get that, I mean, you should win every game. Like, you should just absolutely win every game. Okay, so we discarded the Graveling, which means if we draw these, the Hungering is playable. Which feels pretty... I mean, it's not great. No, I guess we wouldn't play the Hungering. We'd instead play at the Deadwood, which we're fine with. I would prefer that, right? Because we're going to have 2 for this. This will pay for here, and this will pay for Deadwood. Yeah, so we'll keep both of these. We will keep both of those. I don't want to banish cards from graveyard yet. And Deadwood will just get the same damage through with a little bit of extra graveyard fill. Why not? And it'll play out a non-block from the deck. Oh, God. Yeah, so Vasili's rule, though, apart from him saying always go second, which I still can't agree with, the one thing he, so far, has, like, really revolutionized how I think about Levia though, oh my god, I phrased that terribly. The one thing, so far, that he really, like, revolutionized Levia with, not just Rouse, I think Rouse was definitely super smart. I'm jealous I didn't think of it. But what he has said so far that has absolutely changed how I think about Levia is if you deal 12 damage, it's okay. No need to Arsenal. If you deal 12, it's okay. It's okay. No need to Arsenal. And that's actually so contrary to how I like to play Levia. Like the recursion builds that I play, or like the mid-range, what I discard. A red Hungering Slaughter Beast. Alright, well, we can go ahead and banish the Blood Rush. He didn't have something in graveyard for me to choose yet, but that's fine. We're not turning on Blood Date yet. The whole idea of, it's okay, you don't need to Arsenal, is like just so different. That is so different. Like when I'm playing Levia, like this is my calling list. When I'm playing Levia, like I'm literally building Levia to play for Arsenal. There's so much I want in Arsenal. I want, you know, my combo halves in Arsenal. I want like my red Unworldlies. I want like a Pummel. I want like a red Graveling, a red Dread Screamer, an Endless Maw, a Boneyard Marauder. There are so many cards I'm trying to actively put in Arsenal, because that's how Levia has her above rate, like small hands, which, sorry, one second. We'll put this is our first pitch of the game, so it doesn't super matter. We'll do this. Because Levia has her above rate small hands when you actually put your cards together. When you put a red Unworldly with a blue, with a Swing Big, that's 3 cards for 12 damage. It's nuts. That's so good. Like, what other deck is really pulling that off? But the thing is, if you just deal 12 damage a turn, regardless of how many cards you're actually using to throw 12 damage a turn, you kind of do just outpace decks. It's very smart. It's very smart. That's really not how I thought about Levia ever. But it's true. If you just build, even for your hands to not necessarily play super pitch effective, Play T-Bone from Arsenal, so this is just something he wants in Arsenal a bit more. We don't need this because we're going to go Endless Arsenal Dread. We'll do that. But if you just build Levia to swing 12 every turn and do that as consistently as possible, then you're just putting out enough pressure that when you have your insanely good small hands or when you have your insanely good spike turns with like Blood Rush, holy shit, you really feel unfair. You do, because you're just, it's an onslaught. It's 12, 12, 12, 18, 12, 21, 12. Like, damn, that's good. That's literally never how I was trying to play Levia. Never. Never, never, never. I would take so many turns where it's like, okay, we'll block, we'll swing 2 card for 9. 2 card for 9, insane. We'll block, swing 2 card for 8. 2 card for 8's insane. We'll block, 3 card hand for 12. Those are insane. But every time you throw 9, every time you throw 8, every time you throw 7, anything that's not 12 per turn, what you're doing is slowing down the rate at which you close the game. And funny enough, like, it's apparently just not the best way to play Levia. I've been floored by this. Vasili's freaking genius. Okay. Yeah, we're not ever blocking this here. We have such a good Art of War. I mean, banishing Beast Within is just, it's gas. I mean, the unfortunate part is you just don't block a lot, which to me is a little unfortunate because, like, Levia is a deck that blocks quite well. I do like using that part of her kit, just all these 3 blocks, building up your graveyard that way. But you just don't have to, apparently. You just don't have to. The deck functions. Okay, so even if we miss on the pulping, it's going to have go again. I didn't want to choose +1 because we'd be risking Dread Screamer into not really having a playable. Obviously, we drew into a playable, but if we Dread Screamered into the Boneyard, then our graveyard's like gone, which is not something in this build you really want to do. You don't really want to banish 6 per turn in this build. You wanted to in like recursion builds, but not this one. So we'll play the pulping, because if we draw other colors of cards, we might, like if we discard this and draw into a blue, we could even claw into Boneyard, so we'll do that. That's a bit of an awkward draw, because we don't really want to pitch that in. We don't really want to pitch that in for claw. Or for Boneyard, rather. Not a huge fan. Not a huge fan. I'd rather keep the Blood Rush, but then we don't even do anything with this Mandible. So we can either pretend that we're happy enough with this turn, turn off Blood Debt through 6 Dominate, and just hold this. Or just go ahead and play out the Boneyard to make it a 12 damage turn. I think we'd rather just make it a 12 damage turn. Right? It's what the deck wants to do. 12 damage turn. Just make it. Just make it. Fai certainly is a deck, alright. She is a deck in the game Flesh and Blood that you can play. True facts. She's also, like, I'm not even kidding you, so insanely good with this playstyle. Like legitimately, I don't want other people to play it. I want our League of Levia to be the ones that play it. But the deck is insane. Like, it really is insane. I'm still not going to say everything in the list was perfect. I don't think everything about his advice on the list was perfect, but the concept is so correct for where the game is right now. Like, it really is. It really is. I mean, we're just relentless. We're just relentless. Like, when is Dash going to have time for her items here? When? We just get to come in now for a 14 damage turn and reset Arsenal with an Endless. It's just nuts. It's just a little nuts. So that's why I put the Skull Crushers in right now, because yes, it looks funky. I don't think you ever like realistically roll, but this deck really is not trying to block. It really uses its armor for that oppressive point where your opponent's like, oh, Jesus, I took the 12 to throw something back, and you're like, okay, block. And you can block so much. Like, this armor suite's insane. And you have this amazing inevitability as well with just how many power cards are in a Levia deck. There's a lot. There's a lot. Deck list. Well, this is like a direct link to the list that I constantly change, but you can at least copy this from where it is now. Oh, goddamn. Look at this. It's crazy. It's so crazy. Because Doomsday is just another 12 damage push, but then they need to keep 6 damage to try to clear it, or you just have it. You got 6 damage on the board with every go again. And this deck is chock full of the go again. I'm telling you, man, it's nuts. She's so exciting. What an exciting time to play Levia. Whew. Yeah, we can get rid of the Wild Ride. Sure, go again, banish. Ooh, nice. We even drew into the Graveling. Well, no, we don't actually want to play the Graveling. We want to pitch the Wrecker into Endless. We'd be showing them the Doomsday, but I would rather clear it, because we do risk leaving... Yeah, I hate doing it this way, but I'm greedy about it. I do want to clear the misses on this play. Yeah, so now it's a 15 damage turn, sticking Blasmafet with Reset Arsenal, with all the equipment up. What's going on? We haven't even... Did we play 1 Blood Rush? I think we played 1 this game. We played 1 Blood Rush this game. Like, it's just over. Like, it's just over. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. Honestly, Levia is a lot of fun to mess around with. I already love the theming, and the brute frame really makes that aggressive nature fun. Yeah. Yep. And she really has a lot of ways to play her. Like, I think technically I actually had a better record with my recursion Levia in that 500 person calling where I got 41st. Literally bubbled out of top 32, which was unfortunate. But like recursion Levia, where you actually play like, you know, for the Howls, the Deep Rooted, and that's like your main plan. It definitely, like, it's good. It works. It works really well. The games are a lot harder. I think this version of Levia is way more difficult to play. Like, holy shit, margin of error is so tiny. Oops, not this version. This version. Margin of error is so tiny, and graveyard management matters way more. But then, like, this version of Levia, you barely care about any graveyard management. Like, you kind of just... you just play your cards, and you have so few non-6s that, like, you're just clear most of the time. Alright, we even hit a Beast Within. That animation always happens so quick. But we did hit Beast Within. We added another Beast Within to hand. This game go again. Nuts. Nuts. This is an 18 damage turn right here. 18 damage turn. Yep, because we can... I mean, we can turn this into Claw, Graveling. If I want to be super greedy about it, we can just play for the next Wild Ride, maybe hit this again. Go into like another Claw into Blasmafet. I mean, right now in hand, we already dealt 6. We can deal another 6, 12. So it can be a 23 damage turn by just playing out the Graveling and hold the Wild Ride. I do prefer that. And then we did take Goliath, but this is where Scabs would be insane, because you just commit with the damage that's guaranteed so far, which would be Claw. And then you could roll Scabs to see if you get to swing Blasmo for free. I mean, because that'd just be nuts. Then it'd be Graveling and Blasmafet. It's nuts. Nuts. I feel you on work. I literally just sit here and do nothing and periodically get a contract to write or a mediation to do. I'm not mad, but I'm bored. Oh, Hamal. Oh, that's you saying that. Bro, you want to hire me as a paralegal? I look sexy in a crop top. I promise. I had a concert phase. I definitely wore crop tops, but man, yeah, this is nuts turn. GG 2 items. Oh god, that is rough for my brother. What did we put here? It's fine. Okay, not a great rouse hand, but we can at least play for the Wild Ride. Tried this deck list into Fine, it didn't do so hot. Was rough because the de-emphasis on necessary blocks. Yes, so the way I've been trying to fix that, I definitely feel that issue. The way I've been trying to fix that, though, is by adding Skull Crushers. Skull Crushers is step 1, and then I also side out the Yellow Deadwood, or the Yellow Wreckers for Yellow Deadwoods. And those little tweaks have made the matchup feel decent. I still think it's a rough one because they're the same kind of deck that's like, all right, I'll keep my hand, throw 12, keep my hand, throw 12. And they do it just as consistently as you. Oh man, this is nice. I didn't even notice. We drew into the Art of War. We definitely want to get rid of the yellow wrecker. It's a junk card. We can say go again and then lead into Hungering into Blasmafet and like we just win. It's so crazy. Oh my god. Wait, now we can just do swing big into Graveling. Oh my god, it's so gross. It's so gross. How do you beat this? Look at this. Look at this. What is going on? It's a freaking 20 damage turn with Arsenal reset. What is going on? Yeah, GG's. GG's. I swear, like, Levia, man, alright, not this deck list. Sorry. Recursion Levia, you were sweet. I think you're really good. But I'm not gonna lie, like, this full aggro Levia just slaps, so we'll look at this list again. Yeah, so the thing I'm doing against Fai, and I would have loved to play that Fai game, but it bugged out when we first tried that on stream. But let me pull up how sideboarding looks. So normally this is how I'm running the core. It is tweaked from the way Vasily plays it. Like I said, I really think his concept was insane, but he does need to be a bit more receptive to tweaks. He called me a heretic when I was like, oh, I'm playing around this, that, whatever. He's like, don't touch my list, heretic. Which I mean, sure, like your list can be good, but you know, people can tweak, people can iterate. Now I would hope me of all people could add some insight as well. So what I've been trying on his list is the yellow wreckers in place of the riled up. The yellow wreckers as a core, what they add is this really easy pitch stack on Rouse. Such an easy pitch stack because Rouse first cycle is a bit lucky to play for. If you are playing it first cycle, the perfect hand you're looking for is like Rouse plus a blue plus like, you know, a Hungering Slaughter Beast or like a Swing Big and a yellow or another blue, as long as it's a 6. And you get to show Rouse for 13 off the blue into then like this guy for 7, 14 damage turn, first cycle, it's nuts. But for second cycle, it can be tough to set it up, but it's a blue, so you do want to set it up for second cycle. And the way you do that really easily is with Yellow Wrecker, because Yellow Wrecker is a 7. So when you're pitching in Rouse and your other yellows, right, like a yellow Hungering, you can pitch a Rouse next to a blue, next to a Yellow Wrecker, next to, you know, like any 2-cost, right? And then you get to show the Rouse, revealing the Yellow Wrecker, and Yellow Wrecker next to whatever 6 power that you pitched in is going to, Yellow Wrecker will pay for it. Like you show a Hungering, right? And a Wrecker. Wrecker pays for Hungering. Wrecker goes back into deck, and it's just this extra 7 that you get to trigger with every Rouse. And anytime that's not what you want it for, I mean, you can banish it with Art of War, you can discard it. You can play it like turn 0, just because it fills graveyard. So I think that's been a great add to the deck. Like it really makes it so smooth. Into Fai specifically, because that has been a bit tough, I've added the Yellow Deadwoods over the Yellow Wrecker, because you actually, you know, same 7 yellow that you're looking for, but it's actually got the ability to interact with their Phoenix Flame, right? Which is nuts, because you're already running the full count of blue Rumblers. So you get 5 cards now that can neg their Phoenix Flame, which is nuts. It's a pretty big deal. And then I also added the Skull Crushers, which I think I mentioned before, but Skull Crushers I'm taking in just versus Bravo and Fai. And that's because against Bravo, the 1 block is not really 1 life. It's basically protection of a crush effect. It's not just 1 life. It's protection from a hit effect. And that makes this 1 life worth so much more than the 2 life Goliath could deal in that matchup. And then against Fai as well, Skull Crushers is that extra amount of block so that you don't have to commit a card from hand to turn off Mask, and therefore try to maintain your aggressive push of 12, 12, whatever. So that's what I've been trying. Other than that, the sideboard's like nothing too crazy. Like against Icelander and Kano, I'm bringing in the Red Savage Feast plus the Deep Rooted Evil over the Endless Maws, just because an extra Banish 3 in that matchup is like a little tough to manage. Plus, you're going to run Hooves in that matchup, and Savage Feast controlling discard on like a Beast Within is pretty nuts to pop off your turn. And then Deep Rooted's just an extra yellow over red, which never hurts. And then against Oldhim, this is Vasily's plan, and it does work really well. You just bring in 3 Dread Screamer and Deep Rooted Evil. Just slap it in your deck, run it at like 64 or whatever. And all this does is play towards this Deep Rooted Evil loop late game where you can just take a Frosty Hammer hit. You can just take it and get the Frostbite, still pitch a blue for Dread Screamer, and then you're going to have 2 cards left in hand, right? If they try to Ice React you to lock you out, you get to just put whatever non-blue on top, and then use your blue to play out Dread Screamer. And you're going to swing 11 through a Frostbite, through an Ice React. And you're going to do that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times, hopefully. And that's just nuts. Like, it's so good. It is so, so good. Deck's not unfair, but it's good. I can't deny. O to be undefined. Still 30 HP. Yeah, with Husk and all that, it's just nuts. Oh, Hamal. Golfing. I can't golf, buddy. I suck so bad. I think my worst sport ever is bowling. I am a criminally horrible. Like, I will make you want to throw up if you see how I bowl. It's bad. It's so bad. And then golfing is like my second worst. Hey man, Sant, what do you think of an Oldhim list running Channel Mount Heroic? I see it very rarely in lists. Is it because it isn't useful in any Oldhim's bad meta matchups? Okay, so actually, John, there was a really interesting deck list. Starvo CMH deck. There was a Guardian deck that tried to pull this off. Now, granted, it wasn't Oldhim. It was Bravo Star of the Show, which is a deck you can't play anymore other than in the Living Legend format. And it actually played for Channel Mount as one of its ways to push insane damage. It definitely had this built-in ability that could just steal the game. But then it also tried to just jam every unfair card it could into the deck list. And running Channel Mount alongside like E-Strike, Entwine Lightning, Exude, Lightning Surge, Wounding Blow even made an appearance in those lists. It would try to just pump out these 0-for-7s just like Briar does, backed by Channel Mount Heroic. Now the difference between how Bravo could do that versus Oldhim is Bravo got more benefit from showing even a red earth because it would trigger his ability, whereas Oldhim doesn't really do anything with a red earth because you're not going to pitch that into his defense reaction ability. So it being an earth like doesn't inherently benefit. Also for Oldhim, running all these red zeros can really clunk up just kind of his fallback game plan of being a weapon deck, the game plan of just pitching into like Crown Rampart. Running more reds is just going to impede that part of his game plan. So it'd be like a really, you'd basically have to copy like what this deck is doing, but move it over into Oldhim instead of Bravo, but you would just strictly lose benefits. Like you wouldn't have Lightning Surge, you wouldn't have, just game stealing ability off the reveal. It would just be worse. It would just be worse than how this deck played it. And this deck was fine. It was a good deck. But Oldhim just can't pull it off to the degree that this deck did. And if you're playing it just to add it to tall attacks, that's really low value. You're basically paying 3 for +3, hopefully like +6. And this card is actually quite balanced if that's what you're doing with it. If you're paying 3 to give like +6, I mean, you're basically playing a Slogism. Like you're playing this card. Slogism. Look at this. This is a 3 cost that gives +6, right? And that's considered like, underpowered basically. And if that's all you're getting at a Channel Mount, thank God. That is balanced as heck. I'd love you for that. Instead, what you want to get from this card is like +12, +15. It's just bull. When you get that out of this card, it's just so unfun. So unfun. What's your block philosophy for Fai? I thought I had a good tempo read, but then Kadachi. Block philosophy, do you mean against Fai? Against Fai, as this Levia deck, the most you can afford to do is just block Mass Trigger, and then try to Husk on either like a Snatch or Lava Burst. Just try to get like full value on Husk. You can, if you get too greedy on Husk, like if you're waiting for a Lava Burst after seeing like one early, that's probably not good enough. You probably should have used it just to know that you're covering the HP it should cover. That's always the issue when you play against Viserai, is you can try to wait with Husk. You can be like, okay, I know he runs Shrill. We're going to try to get Husk to block Shrill. But then you eat just a little bit too much Arcane, and then all of a sudden it's like Mordred Revel, and your Husk blocks too. Because it blocks Rosetta, that's it. So man, that's awful. It's kind of the same thing in the Fai matchup. Just get the full value on Husk. Every time you can. CMH in Oldhim is ineffective. Not so many attacks per turn. Yeah, exactly. Are we just thinking we're going to just take mass turn sometimes? Okay, yeah, here's the other thing. Playing Fai, having played Fai a ton, right? You guys saw the streams and playing him in Nats and all this stuff. The thing about the mass trigger is that Mask of Momentum in Fai normally deals 3 damage. So if you math out your turn to say, I'm going to let him draw because I don't care about the 3 damage that Mask presents, then sure, that's what you should be mathing around. But don't assume that like a mass trigger is like in Katsu, where all of a sudden mass trigger stacks on Katsu trigger, pulls the combo piece, now it's 5 damage and all that. Fai isn't doing that with Mask. He's not. And he also has more bricks with Mask than Katsu, because Katsu can like turn a blue into damage, right? But man, if you're like playing your deck and your 3rd chain link comes through and you draw like a blue brand, or like any blue really, or even like an extra combo finisher and you already had one in hand, and that just doesn't do anything. So I would say most of the time you should math a mass trigger being 3 damage, most of the time. But, you know, there are turns where it's worth less than that. There's definitely like some turns where it's worth more than that. Maybe they draw into like Salt the Wound and they already had a Salt the Wound, and then they play Salt the Wound, snap Salt the Wound. Like, yeah, the blowout can happen, but you know, that's not, if that happens, it happens. Like any deck can blow you out. But I wouldn't pretend that every draw is going to be that threatening. I get so jittery against Fai, trying to calculate exactly what I should block for. So the main thing to know as well against Fai, and I swear to you, everyone forgets this. I swear to you. Mask draws on 3rd higher chain link in a row if it's an attack action card that hits. So many people are accustomed to playing against Katsu while they're just like block a Kodachi, that I think some people think that Kodachi or like a weapon can draw a card, but that's not true. The weapon hit won't draw a card. So I see a lot of people just like block Searing because it's like, okay, easy. I'll block Searing. It's 3. My card blocks 3. It's a clean block. But this hit will never draw the card. So blocking Searing should be strategically something to do with the chain links, not the threat that Searing itself will actually draw a card. But, you know, having played Fai a ton, there's definitely people who block that way, that assume that this is the hit that's going to draw the card. But in reality, like, if you're trying to just block for the mass turn, then maybe wait on the Searing, and see what the actual 3rd attack action card is going to be. Because on Fai, yeah, if I line it up to be like a 4, that's pretty big. But for the most part, it's still going to be like a 3, or it's going to be like a 1, or it's going to be a 2. And armor can eat those. Yeah, so anyway, that'd be like the main tip, I think, against Fai. But isn't Mask on Fai +1 for flames, etc.? Oh, yes. Yeah, okay, sure. When you've got the multipliers out, like on an Art of War turn, or a Spreading Flames turn, yes. Yeah, that's when Mask is more threatening. It is. But those are the turns where you should probably start to respect Fai anyway, and block more than just the mass trigger on those kind of turns, because if he's built a 5-card hand and committed to like an Art of War spreading, then it is all that more dangerous that turn is also like Assault the Wound. I mean, I guess there's nothing you can do if it's like a Lava Burst, but yeah, his really big turns, if you just eat that damage, that's probably incorrect, because they don't line up that beautifully every time. Art of War can definitely punt. Spreading Flames can definitely punt. Definitely. But they also have their really good turns. So if you're tracking it and his turn is just kind of nuts, then I would respect it. I would go ahead and try to commit more to saving your life, because he's not going to have every turn be that good. He's consistent, but he won't have those insane spike turns to the degree that like a Levia can. Levia gets it way easier. Just see a Blood Rush. But Fai needs Spreading Flames plus like 3 other cards to line up well. Good Fai will present a breakpoint in the 3rd link. Yeah, no, I mean, they will definitely try to do that. But my tip is mostly about just don't forget that Searing itself can't draw a card, because a lot of people do forget that. A lot of people do. In fact, I thought it could until I started playing the deck. I think it's just something most people don't think about. I was thinking of combining Imposing Visage to tutor Channel Mount and making 3 Seismic Surges with Thunderquake, then pitch 5 for 2 Zealous Beltings with a 1-cost pummel at the end. Wait, hold on. With a 1-cost pummel. That doesn't quite exist. Let me track back this turn. Imposing Visage. So you'd pay 6 to tutor Channel Mount, which is now 3 cards. Because Imposing plus blue. Make 3 Seismic Surges with Thunderquake. So then that's already 3 cards. Then you're trying to do Heave, Thunderquake. Right? So that's 5 cards now. And then pitch 5 for 2 Zealous. Okay, but that's pitch 4 so far. Pitch 4 for 2 Zealous. And then 1-cost pummel. So you're putting all that together to then try to draw into a turn that is a Zealous, a blue, and a pummel. So that's a specific 5-card hand into a specific 5-card hand. Sure, if that lines up, all power to you. That'd be insane. But is that going to line up? Probably not. And on top of that, you're talking about tutoring Channel Mount, so you can't even realistically like pitch stack for that kind of turn because it would shuffle. So no, I don't think it's too slow. I think that's just not a real that's just not real. It's not about being too slow. It just won't line up like that. Maybe like, once in a billion years. Sure. That's a lot to say pulverize. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Pulverize kind of just does that, right? You're talking about Zealous, which is 10 with Channel Mount, into Pummel, which is ideally 4 plus a hit effect. So you're dealing 14. And you know what deals 14? Is Pulverize with a hit effect. Yeah. Just go for Pulverize then, buddy. Pulverize is pretty nuts. All right, let me check. Did my LSS guy tell me about the article? Oh, my LSS guy actually, he did write me back. He says, I don't know. All right, well, that's all we know. Is we just don't know on the article. He just doesn't know. That's unfortunate. Want to review it on stream. Okay, to do. All right, back to games. Man, that was actually the first time we've gone into like a little talking rant, and we actually went up on viewers. I'm trying to track like how these things go. I think this was the first time ever a rant has actually kept us with our viewer count. That's pretty cool. People, I guess, appreciate the ramblings of an insane Levia player. They are just ramblings. I put not much faith into my analysis of the game because it's from a very, very specific point of view. I think people forget that I've been playing this game for just about like a year, but I've also played Levia for like 95% of every game I've played. Other than like, the past 2 or 3 weeks on Fai. So, oh, we get the Fai matchup. Oh, nice. Hi. Good luck, have fun. All right, this is sweet. Actually, we'll get to try everything we were talking about. There we go. Let's do it. All right, we do really want to go second in this matchup, though. He's making me go first. That's fine. It is okay. Or rather, I say we want to go second. That's literally just because Vasily says we want to go second in every matchup. So, me personally, I'm still fine with first. This is safe. I'm still very happy with first. Man rant. Yeah, I play Towering Titan. I plan to go first and draw out every game on the first one. Yep. Yeah, just plan on that. So you should play Towering Titan. Oh no, you can't afford Towering Titan plus Nourishing. But man, if you just drew that every game, it'd be nuts. All right, this is actually insane. So we drew double Deadwood. Pretty juicy. The unfortunate part is we're going first. So this effect isn't the biggest deal. Is the unfortunate part here. Because if it hits, he's just going to sack a blue for the Phoenix Flame. It definitely takes away some damage from him, for sure. But it's not the most relevant. The other thing we can do with this hand is just swing big and then arsenal the Deadwood to try to make it line up. Because him with a Quicken is not super relevant. In fact, against Fai, I quite value taking cards out of his hand. Because Fai is such a consistent deck that when you take away like his cards on the first turn here. It could be like double, you know, double strike or something, which always feels nice. I'm kind of sorry. You know, I'm kind of down because the thing is sometimes they don't know it works like this. Not gonna lie. Sometimes they don't know it works. And when it... Yeah, okay, perfect. He doesn't know how it works. So here's the beautiful part. You can't respond to the resolution of Deadwood. You have to respond when I literally play it, before you see the draw discard. And so it's always tough because if you miss, they just don't know. They just don't know. So there's definitely Fais in this situation that legitimately like just don't want to trade the blue for Phoenix and just hope that you miss. That's definitely come up. But there we go. There we go. We like how that worked out. All right, with this kind of hand, this is one of the reasons Endless Maw is so good. With this kind of hand, we want to just play out the Endless Maw and reset Boneyard and Arsenal. So we're happy to block with 2 cards here. Wrecker and Graveling. All right. Not a huge reason to actually block that attack. Just kind of felt like it. Not gonna lie. All right, but knowing that they don't have a Phoenix Flame, they can't actually make this chain link go to 3 again. So we should be safe to block this. This really, I shouldn't have blocked this one. Saving that second card for Snatch or something at the end would have been better. But it's okay. It's okay. I just want to cover up. It's the mentality of I don't want to waste block. Oh, okay. He did get out of Phoenix Flame. That's fine. It's the mentality of I don't want to waste block against Fai. Like if I'm chucking a card to block like 2, that feels pretty bad. And I can block with the Boneyard. I don't hate it. He doesn't have, yeah, he doesn't have a Phoenix Flame in the graveyard to do that. Easy game. I'll have to read some of these. Since you like decks with Blood Debt and self-damage, have you seen the self-OTK with the new hero Yoji? Self-OTK? I have not. I have not. That sounds mildly... Okay, so this is why we just straight up should not have blocked this. But now we at least get double value out of blocking Snatch. So we can just block with these because there's no way you can cheat over with a Razor, and it denies a double card draw. And we get to throw 9 back into him and set the Boneyard in Arsenal. So we don't mind that. We definitely want to play these games as short as possible. Is kind of the idea against Fai. They milk a lot of value every turn cycle with Mask and Shuko. So we want to play fast games. We do. We're trying to set up the Boneyard to actually line up with like a Blood Rush right away. But yeah, ideally we just don't block the first swing there, and then on the Snatch we block with the Graveling and Skull Crushers. Would have been better. Would have been better. Got too excited. Just a meme by Teklo Foundry. Alright, so it looks like he had a non-functional hand. We take that. Now we're ahead on a very strong arsenal, and our graveyard's still at 3 if he takes a true off turn. This is not what we like, though. This is really rough. We're missing all the go again. That is such a sad... Ooh, that's such a sad draw. Any form of go again on a full pass hand like that would be nuts. So I'm almost inclined. It would be insane. It's like just not right. But we could roll Scabs. If we hit, we can go Claw, Claw, Boneyard, Arsenal, Endless Maw. Man, that sounds really good. That is such a ceiling for a turn. Compared to just 9. Yeesh. Yeah, I mean, that is a at least 12 damage turn. Oh, wait, oh, no. I'm assuming we hit a 6. We wouldn't hit a 6. I'm going to assume we hit a 6. Ugh. I shouldn't do it. I'm kind of down to take a risk, though. I shouldn't do it, though. But I'm kind of down. All right, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. Risk. I rolled a 4. Okay, 4 is good. 4 isn't going to trigger Skull Crushers. But a 4 will get us the Endless Maw plus Mandible Swing, which is fine. That is a 12 damage turn. What we want is 12 damage turns. And we did get there. The graveyard being gone is very alarming. That's what we get for not seeing any draw discards yet. Not seeing any draw discards. That is so tough in this phase of the game. Because now we'd need to like legitimately block with 2 cards to maintain this. If we draw a Blood Rush, I mean that's insane, right? Because that's going to fill the graveyard +2. It's going to fill the graveyard +2 and we kind of just keep going. So we're hoping for the draws to really pick up here. That'd be very nice of you, deck. I would appreciate it. This is doable. This is doable. We've got the graveyard fill with the Wild Ride. I don't hate it. He pitched an Art of War, which is good for us. We've got... Ideally, we want to use Skull Crushers and Scabs to interrupt his mass draw this turn. Okay, he's got another Art of War. I mean, this is still fine. That means he's not playing a double Art of War on us unless he draws another one here. He banished an Enlightened Strike. Okay. It's definitely going to be tough to get the mask block on these. It would have to be like the Phoenix Flamed that comes in for exactly 2. I mean, we're still taking this damage. Which can happen. I mean, he can go like Ember here, which won't draw a card, right? We learned this. We all know now, if he swings Ember here, it doesn't draw a card. Alright, that does draw a card. That one does draw a card. So, ideally, I mean, we can just bet a lot on this hitting the Beast Within. We can bet a lot on it. Not like it's likely, but it's what we want to happen. So we're going to deny the mass draw here. We saw him block with an Ancestral and played one, so it wasn't likely he goes over. Now this is another attack that is very annoying. Not much we can do. We are probably gonna have to eat whatever this is. If it's like a that's another Phoenix. Well actually that makes it more interesting because now we can just play out the Boneyard. It'll be a really weak turn. But we could just play out the Boneyard to Arsenal Wild Ride. I think that's what we're gonna have to do. Because we're banking too much on Wild Ride actually hitting the Beast Within. Whereas this just shuts off his turn. Yeah, so it clears the graveyard again, but I don't want to take 3 blood debt. That is too much. Too much. It's also, our Deadwood actually just really didn't do anything. He found 2 more Phoenix. Which, you never know. Some Fais are running 3, some are running the 1. So we just ran into a list that runs 3, and he also found ways to pull them out. So Deadwood fell a little flat for sure, but we're happy it hit to begin with. Okay, this really sucks. Oh my god. Oh, this is so unfortunate. The way our graveyard's at, we don't get to play for this line off of blue. So we don't have anything in graveyard. We just drew these too late. So we'll have to lead with a Wild Ride. Our turn can still turn into something decent. But it means we're going to have to eat a lot to get it off. Blocking with Husk, in theory, blocks 5. But it doesn't turn off Mask. You can still proc Mask this turn. We don't really want to block with a real card in hand, though. But I think we're going to have to. Yeah, the Graveling isn't guaranteed to be playable this turn. It's most likely just like Wild Ride into Dread, which won't feel great. Maybe we draw blue, discard the Wild Ride, and can go Wild Ride, Dread, Mandible Claw. That'd feel nice. Damage race is tight, though. We still have like 1 big swing left with Husk to block the Lava Burst. How'd you get 70 plus? Hey, baby, we're at 80. What you talking about? It's because people love Levia. I'm nothing but a vessel. for our queen. I have nothing but a vessel. All right, so here, unfortunately, we are going to have to block with Husk, because the next thing he can do on this pretty easily is just get the Phoenix. We're out of equipment block for that Phoenix. We really got punished. That turn 1 where we blocked with the Graveling on the first attack was just so wrong. So now we kind of have to Husk. Does not feel good. Does not feel good. We really need this to line up with the blue discard. That'd be insane. But we just haven't seen enough early. The game is on a very tight clock. We needed the Wild Rides or the Pulping or a Blood Rush, obviously. We take this. It's fine. She's interesting to watch and you're interesting to listen to. Well, thank you. All right, here we go. Watch us just miss the discard. What if that just happens? Ooh, we were actually mighty close. We discarded the Wrecker. So if we'd kept the Wrecker, discarded the Wild Ride, we actually had the turn we were looking for. We did. We don't have it anymore. We just have a 12 damage turn. It's not a good one. We wanted a 15 damage turn, because 12 Fai can match. Yeah, we're losing all of our setup. It's going to be so hard to just try to like keep a Blood Rush and end the game. He's still got his equipment. Soon there will be so many Levia that that Levia won't be able to step on all of us at once. Yeah, she can't just pound all of our faces in, right? Some of us have to get lucky enough. Some of us. I can't deny, like, in a good Levia run, there's definitely luck that comes up. She can just have such bad draw sequences. So to have, like, the perfect run, you do have to get a little lucky. Man, yeah. We're just out of it. We're out of it. It's another hand with no power card. Another hand with, I mean, if we saw, like, if this was a Graveling, we could have a shot. Because we'd be able to toss one more 3-block and have a 13 damage return. Into, hopefully, one more draw cycle of maybe hitting Blood Rush. But, we haven't seen our War of Blood Rush in 5 turns, so it will be over. Unfortunate. Best we can try to do is play our Hungering for 7. Try to Arsenal Dread if we can. Not likely. Not likely. Blaze. Sure, I'll eat it, buddy. Phoenix. Alright. I think we just have to... I mean, we lose to a lot from this position anyway. Because this is going to demand a card because we can't afford to just give him 3 damage. But then he still has the 2 here, which easily plays into Searing 3 Lava Burst or something. So we're already staring down like another, 9 to 12. Not worrying about this Phoenix. So yeah. Will most likely just be it. But it's okay, because we did misplay that literally on turn 0. Messed it up. Messed it up royally. After talking about how delicate the blocks are in this matchup, just punted. Okay. Alright, well, we're gonna not be able to Arsenal. But we at least survive another turn cycle. Do we survive one after that? Hell no. Hell no. But we survived this one. Yeah, our draw also would have been a lot better going second. The way we... Well, I mean, that's assuming he doesn't swing turn 0. If he swung turn 0, we're probably in the exact same boat. And the game is... And there's really not much we could have done. But if we go second and he doesn't swing, funny enough, with that hand, because it had double non-block in it, I think we'd be in a decent spot. Alright, so the world we win is he doesn't block, goes to 4, and then we draw Reckless, 6/6. And somehow it bugs out and gives us double Reckless, because I don't even run double Reckless. But if that's what happens, I already messed up. He blocked 3. Doesn't work anymore. Fai still has 5 health. Yeah, for sure. And now we draw the non-blocks right at the point of the game where we're going to lose to it. And it's all red hand as well. So, yeah, not much of a shot with how the draws lined up. And still no Blood Rush or Art of War. So you can definitely see where Levia stumbles. Like, deck's great, but man, it can just draw like this. Unfortunate. Alright, I do want to try a rematch if he's down. GG's. Rematch. Oh, I haven't even updated these things. What are we, 2-1 now? I forgot. I always forget about these. I also have another thing that can't turn off blood debt. Yeah, baby. At a certain point, you stop counting all the things that are going wrong. Alright, we put those back in. We're not going to be bad with blocks this game. And we will try going second instead. Alright, I'm supposed to be clicking these. I got this little stream deck. So when I lose, I'm supposed to do this.
No, God! No, God, please,
do you
no!
hear something? I think you're supposed to hear like a sound effect. And when I win, I'm supposed to click
Ethan,
this.
great moves. Keep it up. Proud of you.
Yeah, you drew all upside down. It's what happens. You can't be upset about it. Like, it's just how Levia works. Especially this kind of list with all the non-blocks. Sure, if you're in a spot where like you just don't, you're not blocking anyway, good God, cards are busted. But you're in a matchup where blocking can be critical. Sure, yeah, things just go south. Oh, it was a bit loud. All right, that I was not aware of. That I was. How do I fix that? Loss win. All right, we'll move both of them down. -3 on both. Here. Yeah. All right, see, this is the thing. Now he's thinking about it, right? Levia wants the graveyard. So now he doesn't necessarily want to block us here. He doesn't know. We have decent blocks here. We've got 9 block with cards that we don't super mind losing right now. The pulping is nice. The pulping is exactly the card we want to see to kick the game off correctly. So we like this. We like this a lot. All right, it's going to be a 9 damage turn 1 with Arsenal Dread. That's fine with me. That is fine with me. And 2 graveyard fill. All right, I did change the audio, so now let me know again. Let me click them both.
No, God! No, God,
That's from
please,
The Office.
no!
Wow.
And this is
Ethan, great move.
this is from
Keep it
Michelle
up.
Obama.
Proud of you.
There we go. I think that definitely looked like it came through lower. It was like -20. All right, pass. You were the first content streamer I saw when I first got into this game a year ago. Glad to see how much you've grown. I mean, honestly, I feel like I've regressed. Thank you, Apton. But look, if you look at how I used to upload, we'll go over that in a second. All right, he blocked. That's fine. Being down a card means he's likely not pumping 12, but then again, it at least did block 3 for him. All right, we appreciated that draw sequence. Okay, I have Ophidia's even really good to see here, especially backed by the fact that we get this hand. We get to Dread Graveling for 13 to try to find our Blood Rushes sooner, and we've got cards we don't really want, so that we actively do want to block with these, which is cool. Which is very cool. I'm not the most concerned about letting him get 1 extra damage here, because it's most likely... Well, no, it's not most likely anything. It's either a 4 or a 3, both of which then go over my blocks here. So I can go ahead and do this. Okay. If you look at how I used to be, all the way back, I mean... Alright, let's see what he does. All the way back, I mean, we definitely started like ass. This is insulting. It's insulting. I still have the same playmat though. I definitely still have that, but we've upgraded a lot of other bits and pieces. But yeah, this is like crackly audio. It's so bad. That's how we started, but it's because we didn't really care about the YouTube thing at first. We just wanted to post a Levia deck. All right, what do we think this card is? I still think I should go ahead. Nah, I don't want to block that, just in case, because he can go 3 wide easily off this. So we'll hold. All right, it was a 1. All right, so we won't block this either, because now he's going to get back the flame, and then this will block 2 anyway. All right, this is fine. So we, in theory, like wasted 1 life, but he could have gone for 3 on this. All right. Okay, Art of War is not bad. It draws us more cards. But we don't have an arsenal, and that makes it really hard to play Art of War. Art of War is like a 5-card hand to get most value out of it. So I'm keen to actually just dig strictly for Blood Rush. Just for Blood Rush. That's our win con. And you get an extra dig now with Crown, which is pretty sick. So this turn cycle, right? We maintained a life lead into a 3-card for 13. If there's a game where we win, it will be this kind of pattern. Where we already won the turn cycle before we even attacked. And we're coming in for an insanely high rate hand. 3 cards for 13. Very good. But yeah, so apart from like that video, which we can ignore, what actually convinced me to start making more videos was the fact that there was just not any Levi content like at all. Now I made this one, reception was great. So then we kind of went into just some random Levia stuff. You can even see when my hand was all fucked up. When I got 18th at the calling, that was nice. But then the big series, or actually no, I guess this was the kickoff. I streamed an event. The big series though was the Blitz series. This was when I was like on my content peak. I literally was putting out 3 videos a week. You know how hard this was? Oh my god. It was great though, because it's what, if you look at the beginning to the end, this was like attempt number 1, right? Just like this Blitz gameplay, I went over, I casted everything, I had like these card pop-ups. By the end of it, it looked a lot better. I mean, it was minor things, but it was like digital life. The camera got better. I think the commentary hopefully got better as well. But that's what I was up to in the early days. I don't know how I had time for that, because I actually was like way busier then than now. And I still would like beg my friends to come over, record a game, stay up till like 4 a.m., pump it out. And it was awesome. I mean, we literally went through every single Blitz hero as a best of 3. You know how many games that is? Oh my god. Every single Blitz hero as a best of 3. The only one I lost, granted, I mean, it was just local players, so they're not the most competitive games, but the only one I lost was the chain one. It's because I rolled a 1 into a 1. But that was like great. That was really awesome for the channel. And then the streams, that was my preview card, just some discussion stuff. The streams were really fun too. Like I think this was the big one that popped off with like 5K views. We even had like 200 people live. Oh god. All right, we tab back into just a massacre. Well, this is not playable. Luckily, Boneyard will at least turn off Blood Debt, but we're definitely going to try to block with Crown here to find a resource card. That's pretty gross. But then streaming, we had a good local store, and people really liked it. So then I tried to like dip into that, and the streams definitely got better as well. I mean, you look at like this, right? Compared to the most recent one before all my shit got lost. I mean, viewership definitely went down because I don't live in like the best area anymore, but like look at this. Look at the OG compared to this. I mean, this is a lot of work, people. This is a lot. Digital life, hand cam, face cam. I'm definitely pissed because I'm losing to chain. That hasn't changed. But camera's a little tilted as well. I mean, this is what has really been great to me about YouTube. I love pushing this stuff. And I just recently got permission to stream SEG cons. So I do need to get my stuff back to actually make that happen. But I do have a partnership with them to some degree. It's not like official by many means, but I'm talking to the right people to actually stream SEG cons. So I was supposed to go to Dallas this weekend for it, but all my shit is still missing. So what can I do? What can I do? I can't really afford to just like buy new equipment, because then if they find my stuff, What do I do? Alright, I think we're just committing actually to this type of hand. Oh no, sorry. We wouldn't block this yet, because this was a Oh, okay. We died for a second, but we're back. We died for a second. I don't know what that was. Yeah, this is my pride and joy, honestly. I like streaming so much. I can't believe the France thing didn't pan out. That's some BS. All right, I think since he's only coming in for 2 and it's going to interrupt mask anyway, we'll go ahead and try with the crown. We'll try with the crown. We'll go ahead and sink the wild ride, because in theory, we draw blue. We can pulping off the blue, hope to play pulping into boneyard. That'd be pretty sick. It's also graveyard fill, which we enjoy. Nope. All right, 5 reds in a row. Maybe you get equipment and ensure you can return it. It's still a lot of money. Like at this point, what we've got this camera, overhead camera, the tripods, the lighting. It's a lot to replace. Oh, look how beautiful this is, people. Do you see this in official streams? Nah. The one thing I need to add though, since I'm never capable of doing commentary because I'm playing, I do want to do like floor commentary, so I need to figure out a system of like, you know, getting a GoPro and like a walking mic and actually kind of do floor commentary. When I'm done with my game, I can pop up and do that. Oof. I think we're okay letting this hit. It's super awkward though. Super awkward. Like our hand still doesn't do anything. All right. Well, this is fine. We got a snatch out of him, and we're blocking in a way we want to still return 6. It's all right. Do you have anywhere we can donate to support you? Well, first of all, thank you so much for asking, John. We've got, if you look at the description here, there's like a live tips, which is linked through Stream Elements. There's also a Patreon. The Patreon, I have it set up though, where you'll only get charged at the start of the next month. So even if you pledge, nothing would come through until the next month. I think it's kind of scummy to have people set it up where it's like, you sign up for my Patreon, it's the 29th, you're going to get charged 30, and then you're going to get charged like 30 in 2 days. Like, that's kind of nuts. So I don't have it set up like that. But I think in chat you can also, like, I don't know what it looks like, but I'm pretty sure you can like tip in chat if you really want to, which obviously I deeply appreciate. Thank you. Got to get what real life streamers use. Yeah, I actually do. I do have the harness. I do have it. I just don't know how to connect it like live to OBS from so far away. I mean, oh my god, game. Yes, treat me right. Treat me right, game. All right, if there's a Fai matchup we win, look at this. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Ooh, Lord. Okay, well, that sucks. We did draw all reds. But the good news is we can lead with the pulping. Try to draw a resource card here. We don't hate it. Blood Debt's already off anyway. Okay, we drew a resource card. We're in it. We're in it. We enjoy it. The resource card here can mean we could claw. We could also just go Dread Screamer, Arsenal, Endless. Endless is such a good card in this matchup that's probably what we're going to go for. Because Endless is a way to block down and still return 9 off 2. So good. John, hey, thank you, buddy. Thank you so much. And nice, now it puts you at the top of the chat too, so everyone knows how generous you are. Thank you, buddy. I literally signed up for my first Patreon, and it was like that. Sign up for the 30th. Yeah, it's BS. Like, I don't like it when people do it that way. Because I don't think it's super clear either when you're signing up for the Patreon, if it's set up like that. Because it shouldn't be, like... Because then you're you know, in a way, you can try to game the system by pushing people to sign up for your Patreon at, like, the end of a month. And then you get like, double the cash out of it. And then, like, you know, you can just go back to doing nothing on Patreon almost, which, to be fair, I don't really do anything on my Patreon. I don't really want to incentivize people to use the Patreon unless you are just truly a very... If you wish it upon me to support, thank you so much. I will take it. But I'm not really trying to build that into the theme of the channel here. where I'm like giving Patreon exclusive stuff. It's never been the key. I don't even monetize any of the YouTube stuff. The streams are monetized just because they actively take away from how well I do at events because I have to manage the stream. So I think that's like a decent trade-off. The streams are monetized, but I don't monetize anything else. Like literally. I can show you. I can prove it. Okay, to be fair, it says ineligible on a lot of it, but that's because I purposely put an outro song that I don't... It's copyright striked, but it doesn't matter. Like, I've got it all off anyway. Sure. And then we will... Alright, so we had a 16 damage blood rush. A little off. But we love... Oh, God! Deck, calm down! Deck, chill! Sheesh! You gotta... Can you draw like this every game? My lord! My lord! This is a little unbelievable. Not gonna lie. Nuts. Any news about Clash? When Clash is ready to meet the world? Wednesday. Wednesday. I have it all set. The video is made. Uh-oh. Actually, you probably could have seen that. Oh, check it out. I'll tease it. Look at this. The video is made. Look at this. It's right here. It's right here. But it's not coming out yet. Well, that'll be dropped on Wednesday. I just didn't want to detract from all the conversations around the ban list, which is not out yet. How is it not out yet? But that was the goal. I didn't want people to lose the excitement of Clash because, I mean, the people who are joining me in this are insane. I mean, here. Let me do this in another tab. I can find something to show you about it. The people who are joining me on this project are really kind of nuts. Like, it's not going to be no small feat. It's not just me. Let me see. Let me pull up the screen and I can freeze it for you. All right, we'll pause it. Look at this list of people. Look at this list of people. We got Team Armada, Team Covenant, Go Again, Hometown, Pitch Perfect, Ethnic Smoke, Fresh and Buds, Metrics Metagame. There's people involved in this that are going to make it really fun. So it's no small thing. So I would like it to actually, be like a talking point. So we didn't want to interrupt the banner restricted announcement stuff. I remember you knowing the guys behind Talishar. Will it be a feature on the site as a game mode? That I'm not... Okay, I mean, this is just such an easy husk. The game is over, though. Like, you don't beat this draw sequence. This draw sequence is just insane. Oh, and we drew another blue. Oh, good God. Just dirty. Just dirty. Yeah, actually, Jotrick is in the chat. He's the lead developer of Talishar. I'm not gonna pretend that it's like, worth asking to code in like some new thing. I mean, we need to even see if it works. Like, I'm not convinced it's perfect, but we got like good people behind it to like help it launch as a format. Then Talishar would be something in question, right? Right. But that's not like part of the launch. Now, Jotrick, come on, aren't you like the lead dev? You're at least the face of Talishar in my book. Or is it, am I just saying it wrong? Is it Joe Trick? I mean, I say Jotrick. I've never heard of Clash before. Yeah, no, exactly. Like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's nothing to worry about. Commenter grew from nothing. Yeah, same deal, right? Same deal. Community-led format. Community-led format. But if it works, we're happy to do so. Yeah, well, see, that's a feature down the line. Don't worry about it. All right, we come in for 10. This eats his entire equipment suite, most likely. Or at least his turn. Levia versus Levia Mirror. I'm really not interested in playing the Mirror. Unfortunately, the Mirror match in Levia is not very skill expressive. GG's. All right, so there we go. That is what a win versus Fai looks like. Granted, the draws were just like nuts. You don't really beat that. But oops, excuse me. He's even saying it. Didn't know Levia had such 3-card plays. The one thing that came up, apart from just Blood Rush, was we did play for Endless Maw and we played for Dread Screamer and Graveling turns. And those are turns that outvalue the hell out of Fai. They are so good. You don't want to lose those turns in this matchup. We also led with draw discards, which kept our graveyard super healthy. We blocked with our equipment well. And then, of course, the Blood Rush Beast Within draws were nuts. I mean, that is just like the best sequence to draw ever. For sure. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, sometimes. GG's. Alright. Oh, best 2 out of 3? Oh, I guess we could have done that. I don't know. I think those games kind of spoke, like, you kind of see what happens on either side. Your deck either draws or it doesn't. That's unfortunately Levia versus most aggro is just kind of like that. That's why the mirror is not that interesting. The mirror in Levia pretty much is like who found Blood Rush. It's not too much more than that because the interaction points aren't very forced. The only real interaction point is Husk. There's no hit effects, right? So really you're just playing for who just drew more damage. And it's not that fun. It is not that interesting. Now, different archetypes of Levia playing against each other would be more interesting. Like, I've played Club Levia versus Blood Debt Levia, and Club Levia, like, destroys Levia. Club Levia is nuts. I mean, your disruption is so good. I'm sure it got worse now that Levia can run Crown, because before, like, Pummel CNC just kind of ended the game. But, yeah. Like, a recursion of Levia versus, like, aggro Levia. I mean, we could play it, but most likely aggro Levia wins. Like, recursion Levia wants to play into mid-range. I mean, the matchups are just, yeah, they're just going to kind of be numbers based more than anything. Anyway. All right, are we done with Levia? Levia versus Azalea, we need a test for her for when Azalea gets busted with Dynasty. Hell yeah. Those matchups are interesting. Like, Azalea can have things line up really well, but like, I still think it's pretty easy for Levia. Like, Azalea has the hit effects that can get scary, but Levia easily has the armor. She easily has the 3 blocks. Oops, this is the wrong list. I keep clicking the wrong list. And she also just has such overwhelming damage that at some point, like, Azalea trying to keep a hand just doesn't work. The matchup is, yeah, it feels normally pretty well. Testing Blitz Levia at the moment. Whoa, Nervash. Yo, actually, yo, you just went 5-0 with a Blitz Levia. Would you mind shooting over that list? And I'll play some of that. I'm kind of done with CC Levia for now. For now. We went 3... What did we go? 3-1 so far. I'm down for a Blitz game. I've been playing this in Blitz. This is what I won an Armory 4-0 with this. Granted, I didn't have Rouse. I had Convulsions, not Rouse, and the Wrecker Romps were Hungerings. Was the one change, but I won an Armory with this. But then seeing Vasily and running like the Rouse version, I decided to add it. So I haven't actually played this in person because I don't own Rouse. They were some of the cards that were lost in France. So I needed to order new ones. I don't have them back yet. But I did want to, you know, put some genuine testing into this kind of Levia. Because Levia can definitely win in Blitz. Like, she can have those draws like you saw last game. That are just like a little too overwhelming. Alright. Let's see. What was Nervash working with, though? That's PH Chung. He's going to message me. And we'll take this deck. Oh, it's got some embedded link that doesn't work. That's interesting. Boneyard, CNC, Nourishing Pulping, Swing Big, Beast Within, Graveling, Blue Ghostly, Sift. So it's got less of a yellow base, more of a blue base, and it's running CNC over Wild Ride, basically. Sure. Yeah, Blue Ghostly is something in Blitz that I should play. Even though it's low value, like it's just 2 attack, the 2 attack is still relevant in Blitz. In CC, I don't think it's worth anything. But in Blitz, yeah, it still blocks 3 and sometimes comes in for 2, which is pretty cool. Alright, we'll take it. And we'll play a game with it. Blitz. Still no block Levia? Well, we kind of ranted on and on earlier in the day. Oh god, Levia mirror. I'm gonna throw up. But sure, against Levia. Well, against Levia, like in theory, you want the game to be as fast as possible, so. But it's also gonna come down to who drew Blood Rush. We can go Hooves Goliath though, definitely better. Oh, and then there's no sideboarding, that's right, it's Blitz. So we're gonna be the smart Levi, we're gonna go first and just not attack. And we should be ahead. Should be. Should be. You never quite know. Oh, oops, I should say good luck, have fun. Good luck, have fun. Okay, well, if we were going second, we would just play out the Wrecker and guaranteed Arsenal and Endless, which is cool. Because we're going first, we don't want to swing, so we'll just go ahead, Arsenal the Endless Maw. Sigil. Oh, with Ebonfold and Barkbone. Alright, this is nice and spicy. Alright, interesting. He just played a Sigil, so his graveyard's already in a state. In a state. Not like a great state, but it's a state. So that almost does open us up to try to go ahead and punish. Then that'd put him right at 3. Right at 3. It fills our graveyard to 2 in case his turn is bad. Nah, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. Shouldn't swing. Okay. So actually, ideally, with this kind of draw, it looks weird, but ideally we want to play Endless Maw into Endless Maw. The value is just nuts. Alright, so he had the Levia problem. This is literally the Levia problem. Cool. So, I mean, yes, he got like a free Sigil, but his turn was just Claw. I'm sorry, bro. Alright, so we kind of wanted him to have a better turn, because ideally with this kind of trade pattern, double Endless is such a strong back-to-back in Blitz. We wanted to block with Hungering, and then go ahead sack a Goliath, just to put us at 3, play Endless for 11 into Arsenal Endless. God, that would have been so good. Alright, also, look what happened. I said, when we switch to Blitz, we lose like 20 viewers. That's exactly what happened. Not 20, like 15. But still, dude, people just ain't in it for the Blitz. They don't even want the Blitz background noise. That's alright. That's alright. This is a 5-0 Levia list that one of our League of Levia founders, Nervash, out of the lovely Hong Kong, or yes, Hong Kong. Game store owner even, actually out in Hong Kong. That he played to 5-0, I think just last night or tonight. So, it's good. I don't play that much Blitz. It's lovely to see when other people can tell me what's doing well. Okay. Honestly, love Blitz so much. I'm a Blitz enjoyer. Hey, y'all better tune in for Clash then. Okay, so here we go. He's swinging for 8. We can go ahead and eat the Quicken, basically, with this. Just end up with a Quicken, but then our turn doesn't necessarily abuse it well. Because it would just be Endless Maw, go again. Into, like, pulping. Ugh. I mean, if we end up keeping the blues, pulping is pretty amazing without Blood Debt, because we'll just go pulping Claw Claw off of 2 blues, which is ideally what we end up with in hand. Nah. I mean, the other thing we can do is just block like this. We don't really need to do anything with the Quicken. We'll go ahead and just swing with Endless Maw and Arsenal the pulping. I think that buys us a better turn cycle here. Alright, we did hit 1 Blood Debt in Graveling. We had a chance to not hit Blood Debt there on Sift, which would have been nice. Don't really want to worry about that. I just want fab background noise 24/7. Alright, people have joked about a 24-hour stream. I think if the ban list is like crazy nuts, maybe it's worth it. But it would also be mighty hard to try to be entertaining for 24 hours with like no change in the format. That sounds awful. But alright, alright, buddy. Cool. All right, I mean, life looks rough, but we just drew into a blood rush off of them having basically nothing turn, and we have our husk. So, I mean, that's what it's just what you wait for. All right, we did lose the blue. That's unfortunate. We would prefer to lose the hungering. But this list is very blue heavy. In Blitz, I really like going blue heavy, and this one is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. That's exactly right, and exactly what we wanted to happen happened. Yeah, I normally go 13, 14 in Blitz as well. Well done, Nervash. And if anyone would know best, I would still say you and I are number 1 and 2. Vasily will get there. Alright, so we can go for the Mega Greed. We never blocked with hooves. We can go for the Mega Greed and actually hungering into pulping to just like absolutely steal the game. We would lose the life from hooves though. That feels... Oh, that is the greed though. That is the greed. But hooves dealing 8 damage feels pretty freaking good. Hooves dealing 8 feels pretty good. He's trying to not block this turn, so we basically, if we present lethal off this, which we would, we do it. So we will do it. Yeah, we'll do it. He's trying to not block. So yes, we lose a life. I kind of forgot about the fact that there's no hit effect, funny enough. So we should have just sacked hooves at some point. It should have just been the play. Because there's no reason to not just buy that HP. We could also just win the game. If we Goliath and this hits, it goes up to 10 dominate. He takes 7. I mean, that's worth it. Oh gosh, did we just win? Oh, this matchup's so dumb. Oh yeah, I think that's it, buddy. GG. Sorry. GG's. All right, we didn't even use Husk or Crown. I mean, that's the Levia matchup though. Like, it's not that interesting. That's also just Blitz. Oh no. Oh shit. Sorry. I hit red. Oh no. Can I undo that? Oh no, Jotrick. Hey, Jotrick, if you're watching, undo this for me. His name was Kovu Greg. He does not deserve the thumbs down. That's my bad. All right, well, Nervash, the list did exactly what it should. Well done. But okay, let's spice it up. I got time for, I think, like one more game. I really wanted the ban list to come out. In fact, someone even asked, ban list predictions, go. Well, we went off a little bit earlier in the stream about it, so you can go back to find that entire discussion. But in reality, I don't think anything in CC is going to change. If I had to guess, though, on a CC change, it's kind of a boring take, but I think it's either Crown or Rampart. I mean, people have said that. But if they really want to hit Oldhim, it's one or the other of that engine, Rampart or Crown. I think Crown would be like the nuts ban. I would really question whether that's really likely to happen. People are calling for it, but I don't think it's likely. And then, you know, from Fai, there isn't anything in his exact kit that could go other than like Mask the Pouncing Lynx, going to like limited or something. But that would just make him an easier target for Oldhim, or not limited, suspended. Would make him an easier target for Icelander and Oldhim, and you can still make him an easy target for those decks by just also banning Belittle. So if they're going to touch Fai, it's one or the other on that front as well. It's not that interesting. That's my take. That's all I think. Yeah. I mean, like, I just don't think anything will actually happen. But that's within the wheelhouse of possibilities, I think. Banning Legendary seems stupid. I mean, I agree. I don't think banning Legendary is like a great look for the game. But at the same time, that's why I could see it being Rampart instead of Crown. Because Crown is like his, I mean, it's what Oldhim does. It's his second cycle machine. It's the whole engine right here. But one of the reasons that Crown is so good is because alongside Rampart, he turns any of his 2 blocks into preserving 2 life without losing the real card. And he would still have a shield in Stalagmite. So it's kind of like a mild nerf if they just like suspend Rampart. I don't think that's such a big deal. He still has Stalagmite. It would just make Crown not something he can freely do every turn, every turn. Yeah, they're both L rarity, but I think this one would be, people would be more understandable with Rampart over Crown. I think it'd be, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of how Oldhim plays. When you play him aggro, he's sweet. And when you play him aggro, you run Stalagmite anyway. So the Rampart suspension would most likely just hit the ability for Oldhim to go like pure fatigue, pure tank, and just like never lose cards in deck. So, and it would open up Dash as like a more ready counter to Oldhim as well. So I could see that. I could see that. They're supposed to be powerful and it would destroy the value of the product. A lot of ripple effects. Okay, yes, that's definitely what you can say to the end of time about banning legendaries, but eventually it will happen. Eventually it will happen where a legendary is just freaking busted and you'll want them to ban a legendary. So setting like a soft precedent at Rampart, I think is actually pretty safe. It's no one is like going to quit the game over Rampart going to suspended. I think it's fine. Aggro Oldhim can work fine without Crown of Seeds too, based on Blitz results. Yeah, no, I mean, also that, we've definitely got good headpieces now in like Skullcap or Crown. They're both insanely good. It's just Crown in conjunction with Rampart is just too easy an engine for Oldhim. But this is the safer L-ban. That's my only take. I think that's my only take. Anyway, I do have to go pick up Woman Sant pretty soon, so we can play like one more game, but then I do have to cut it. I just can't believe this, that there's no BNR. We've been streaming for like 3 freaking hours. It's going to pop up like right at 4. We'll actually stay past the hour for sure, just in case it comes out on that hour release. Because let's see, time in California. All right. Normally, I would assume it would actually come out at noon in California. So we are past that. Because if they're waiting for the US, that's like the last... I mean, they're not going to wait for like Hawaii or something. Normally noon in California is like when video games do their announcements and stuff. But maybe it's 1 p.m. in California, so we'll wait for it. But let's jump into another game in the meantime, because we got time. I don't want to play a Blitz game. I also don't want to play a Levi game. We can struggle a bit. I'm fine. I'm fine playing like an Icelander game or something. We'll struggle. Let me find... Where is my boy? Bry guy. There it is. Yes. I do want to get a better feel for Icelander. And my boy Brian did come on the channel for a deck tech. So I have to put his... I do have to put his advice into effect here. I gotta try. I'd love to see a Fai game. Oh, okay, we can also do that. Yeah. We'll just do a Fai game. Sure. If you want it, we can do it. We can play... Oops. No, not that. This was my build that I was tweaking with. I don't think I'll ever touch it again. But this is what I was playing. If the company can randomly delete hundreds of dollars of value from your collection, that will shake consumer confidence. Yeah, but they already did that. Like, Crown is suspended in Blitz, and there's plenty of people that only play Blitz. And I think that one kind of went over well. People were not happy with Oldhim. They were not. And so they touched it, and people said, okay, we can still use this in another format. It's all good. So I think they're definitely clear to do that again. And really, there wasn't much of an outcry when Prism LL'd. But if you want to talk about like dropping hundreds on a deck, Prism was a deck that could easily go to the thousands. And for the most part, yeah, people like miss her playstyle, but, you know, the cards are still playable for the Living Legend format. You can play her in Blitz. And it's fine. Like, she's not dead and gone just because you can't play her cards. MacBag. Oh, you weren't even a subscriber? What the hell, MacBag? You're like freaking always here. Ridiculous. Crown was a serious problem in Blitz, but it is not in CC. Yeah, I think Crown is okay. You can fatigue in Blitz, you cannot in CC anymore. Yeah, like I think Crown is okay. I just think next to Rampart is where it gets really problematic. Like it's fine to have your game plan built around Tunic to get Crown value. Like it feels good, but it also means you're spending your Tunic not on like a CNC turn. But when you can just not lose cards in deck for all the life that Crown plus Rampart buys, that is definitely rough. 8. All right. Well, we wanted a fast game. This will not be a fast game, but we'll still play it. We will still play it. We take in these. Oh man, I don't even remember anything anymore about this deck. Jesus. I remember nothing. I think I was also bringing in CNC. I don't remember anymore. I stopped thinking about this deck long ago. Because if they're on the aggro build, they actually don't want to Crown. And most of them are playing the aggro build into Fai specifically. So I think that's why I was taking CNC. Yep. We'll do it. We will do it. I'm playing your Levia deck against Dromai right now, and sweet Jesus, this feels like bullying a toddler. It's damn right, buddy. It's, Levia finally is playing with her... Oh, thank God, I forgot to equip stuff. Oops. Sometimes it bugs out, and it'll reset the deck, so glad we caught that. We're going here, 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 here. Yeah, I mean, Levia is a bully. That deck is bullying. Is this PewDiePie? Doesn't he play Magic and his online incognito username is Salad Fingers? I mean, Salad Fingers is like a internet meme, so I don't think it has to be PewDiePie. It could just be, you know, a Salad Fingers player. Okay, see, so this is why we took CNC, because he's actually not on Rampart. He's trying to use, probably playing more aggressive using Stalagmite, so CNC will actually make him do something. We are fine losing this, and the other card doesn't make a huge difference, but so we can do that. Actually, I don't even hate just that does feel a little bad. I wonder actually, you just block this, take one. Oh, he red pummels anyway. Oh, that's fine. That is fine. We'll take 2, play through a Frostbite. So actually, we are glad we did it that way. I almost just blocked 3. It's cool. Play 5 or Blitz. Getting rid of Rampart makes the dash matchup unwinnable, right? Yeah, but opening up... oh, Lord. Opening up Oldhim to have better counters in the game is totally fine. Like, that's what a ban list should do, right? It shouldn't, like, nerf a deck to the ground. But it should give the deck its weaknesses. Oh god, someone's calling me. Okay, yep, I actually might have to leave. I need to go pick up Sandra. Shoot. Well, now we didn't draw blue, which is why I was considering just block with the red. Let the blue go. This definitely gets a lot worse for us now. Like, to the point where we pretty much just swing for 3 and want to arsenal the flame call. Yeah, that's rough. That's rough. Oh, I guess we don't have to do that. We could flame scale. Oh, it's weird, but we could flame scale to then play flame call. Interesting. That doesn't come up a lot. I don't hate it. Sure. We'll do this. We'll go up to 2. We'll play this. Just go ahead and get the Phoenix out. All right. I really will have to dip. Hold on. Let me message Sandra. Yes. Sorry. I will. Are you done right now? Or at 4? Elsa's calling about the ban list. No. My LSS contact just legitimately said he doesn't know. Which, last time the ban list came out, he let me know, like, oops. He let me know early. He told me. He was like, yo, check this out. And sent it to me. So, just saying. Getting held out on this time. Oy. Okay, well, I'll let the guy know. I will have to go in 10 minutes. Sorry. But we can play until then, if you're alright with it. I do have to go pick up Sandra in 10 minutes, but I do want to stay until then, just in case the article comes out. So, yeah, that's cool, no problem. Alright, so we won't get a full game here, which is unfortunate, because this game does go long. I'll just get this in. Have her Uber. No, she uses my car for work. She doesn't have a car. But today I went to go get my new glasses. Or prescription, at least. New glasses haven't come in yet. But, so I have the car, which means I do have to go get her. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. Sorry. Sorry. I do enjoy sticking around. Alright, so we can just... We actually don't get to... Wait, what happened? He played Icequake and then pitched this. Okay, so it actually would be 2 Frostbites. So 2 Frostbites means we can't just play CNC back, which is unfortunate because that actually would line up pretty well. So we'd have to full block with this if we want to swing here. We can also just take it, end up with 2 Frostbites, but then this costs 4, which is pretty awful. So I think we'll unfortunately just end up sinking. But we don't want to sink. Throwing CNC right now is totally fine. It's cool. It's cool, it's cool. 4 18 damage turns in a row, only one of them was Blood Rush. Glad you're liking it. I'm telling you, Levia is loving this winter. It's unbelievable. She is coming in hot. She's not giving up on summer. Alright, see, so we did force a whole card to protect Crown because he went Stalagmite. So we don't mind that. It forces a little card of inefficiency. My 5 friend just spent a cyber slot to add gamblers into a CC deck just because of me. Proceed to break it after I get a 5, then I get a 4. That feels so good. I'm to the point, actually, with Gambler's Gloves in Blitz even. I mean, okay, well, once again, this hand leaves a lot to be desired. In Blitz, I pretty much only run Gamblers against Brutes now. Just because Hooves Goliath is so good. It's really an all-star in Blitz. Really, really is. But whenever against a Brute and you get to run Gamblers into them, there's so many unfortunate moments in that matchup where you're not gonna use them. You don't want to roll because you don't want to let them use them. Then there's the one point where Levia normally is overcoming like a KO and a Rhinar that they do have to just choose. They do have to decide. It's probably Pummel. They do have to decide whether or not they have to go for it to try to get back into the game, and then they do, and then you have your Gamblers, and it's fun. That's always like a fun interaction point in a Brute game. Okay, so this second Flame Call does nothing unless we end up pitching the Phoenix. Which, I mean, it's not likely, because what would we pay for? Alright. Get this. Come in at the Blaze for 7, just in case it is a Blizzard. Presents the most damage up front. Alright, I didn't even tell Sandra what I'm waiting for. Yeah, I'm done. Oh, thank you. Oh, look, she said you can finish your game. Oh, she checked the stream. Alright, maybe we can finish the game. Alright, she might regret that. This could be a long game. In case you're watching, hun, just message me and tell me if you're actually willing to wait like an extra 20-something minutes. I don't quite buy it. I'm not gonna lie. Oh yeah, I'll come with the Rising here. He's gonna not want to fully block this because he's floating a 1 anyway. And then if this hits, we can go ahead and Flame Call, because why not? It'd be free at this point. Okay, he does sink. Alright. So he's being a little damage inefficient on this, which is fine. I'm fine with that. Alright, at this point, he's still got 1 damage prevention floating. So this Phoenix is just net 0, but it lets us get the next Phoenix, which is 2. Normally what I try to go for in a spot like this is because he has Crown floating still. If my next swing could be Shuko and then end the turn, that's great, because then Crown doesn't do anything. But we can't quite line that up. So we will have to just kind of play into him eating this effect. Not great. Not great. That's a queen right there. I know, I got 2 queens in my life. We got Levia, and we got Woman Sant. Maybe I can get her to do like a Clash gameplay thing with me. That'd be fun. She's played Blitz before and didn't like it. I put her on like aggro Herald Prism, and it was kind of like, you have good matchups, you have bad matchups, and like that was just it. Which, I mean, that's fair. It's a lot of decks. It is a lot of decks. All right, nice. We eat this. No reason to block this. It's unfortunate we don't have the Phoenix to pull from deck, because that would be quite the Spreading Flames turn. But we can get there. We can get there. This is even a good turn to pull the minnow out, because we've got a bunch to pay for. You can finish your game. Oldhim Mira 3 hours later. Yeah. Yeah. Chat has to pay for the Uber, though. Nothing. Hey, you guys don't need to do anything. Just keep being lovely. I don't put any expectation on the individual streams. Some streams have been insane. Some streams, there were freaking donations like, you know, $200. Like, it was nuts. People were incredibly kind. But like I said, it's not the goal behind a stream. Not the goal behind a stream. Alright, we can be really greedy with paying into the Phoenix now to start ramping up the Draconic links, but that does leave us a bit more open to Stalagmite compared to if we just play the cost curve that we're supposed to have right now. We'll go like this. This actually kind of shows them to not block with Stalagmite, so that's a little unfortunate, because it shows the... Oh, I guess they already knew we had a Minnowism. It's not the biggest deal. Ice React. Oh, check this out. This is actually a really good play. So we can do this. It's really fun when this comes up. We can layer the Phoenix on top, put the Phoenix in deck, and then play out the Flame Call to search it right back out. I love when this lines up. It's not likely to line up like this, but it does happen. And here we see it. There we go. Look at that cute little play. Look at that cute little play. Now we got this. Pulls it right back. We are getting like 0 Shuko value though. Like literally 0. Unfortunate is what it is. If they block with Stalagmite, also a little unfortunate. Okay, they don't. Alright. Well, if they're not blocking with Stalagmite, we can think about making this a mask turn, because we haven't triggered Shuko yet, and it would pull the... Oh, no, sorry. This is the Oldhim matchup. What am I saying? Yeah, we'd never make this a mask turn. This is Oldhim. This is Oldhim. Although it is an aggro Oldhim, which is a little different. So when they're trying to play aggressive, it's not bad to just tempo this out. It would get the Shuko plus the... It would get the Shuko plus the spreading, so Lava Burst would be 8 right now, which is worth it. That is worth it. Alright, so we'll look for it. But he might block with Stalagmite, you never know. Alright, we're gonna let it happen. It's 8 damage. We can't ignore 8 damage. And, like, this can't be... I mean, it could be Blizzard, but he should have used it way earlier if it was Blizzard. So, sure. We'll go ahead and pull it out. It's 8 damage. It's 8 damage. Can't say no. Wait. 5, 6... Oh, it's 7. Ah, sorry. 7 damage. I was thinking it was base 6, because all the Levia games recently, everything's base 6. No. True. It's just 7. That's whatever. Well, he's at 14. It's turn 5. And he's playing aggro Oldhim, so I think we're pretty set. Pretty set if I had to wager a guess. Sure. So what we don't want to do is play the Blittle here. It's wasted. We already have enough blues. So what we want to do is try to force him to slow down our turn, like a Blizzard, Slagmite, bait, something like that out. We've got the double blue. Our turn is still just going to be, you know, searing into Phoenix, into Soul Bead Strike otherwise, which is cool. It'll proc Shuko. Arsenal Belittle for when we don't have a red. 7 is fine at this point. Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. It definitely was. Like, I'm not going to complain about how fast we've accelerated the game state. I'm not going to complain. Alright. So far this turn cycle is working pretty much exactly as we want it. If he ice reacts or stalagmites, then like that's fine. We'll just let the turn be over. This is at least going to trigger Shuko. Oi. Alright, yep. I mean, not the best block in the world from him. My turn was basically over at that point anyway. Okay. This is a little more strange. We don't mind the extra blue with this hand because we do want to play out the brand. So we're going to be neg 1 blue. Yeah, we take 4 every time. Alright, this is into his Crown Tunic turn, so we'll have to push through quite a bit. But we do enjoy that we haven't played a single Art of War yet, and he's already at 13. So, not stressing, honestly. Not really stressing. We can go ahead, lead with the brand here. The risk is if he starts with Ice React, it's not exactly how we want the turn to go. Because that means I'd have to put the Snatch on top. So it probably was better to lead with Belittle. But then, no, because we do want the brand to trigger. It's fine. It's fine. Alright. We do get to pull off our turn. Never punished. Alright, guys. We're not back to Fai, alright? Because look what happens. I'm playing Fai, and now no one cares. The chat's dead now. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. Alright, so funny enough, I would rather... I think we might as well pressure with the Belittle. We don't need to save it for another turn. Yeah, we don't need to save it for another turn. Nah. It's all good. It's all good. For that one person who asked for Fai, this is for you. Look what happens. Alright, we'll keep withholding information. We'll go for the Phoenix. Trigger Shuko, because of that first brand. Eating his armor. He really wants this 5-card hand. Very unsafe at this point in the game with you at 7. Not gonna lie. If chat didn't have a delay, it would be more active. No, I mean, it's not about the delay. There's just been no chat. But actually, the minimum delay I can put is 1 second. Or like, in theory, 0 seconds, which is what it's at right now. There is a 0 second, or technically 1 second delay. But the issue is, there just will be a delay in broadcasting to YouTube. There's nothing to do. There's nothing to do there. Like, there's just, I don't know, 4 or 5 second delay because of that. I can't fix it. I can't fix that part. But OBS, what OBS is recording to what it's streaming, there is no delay. And I do have you all right here. I mean, I'm looking at it as much as I can. What's your favorite color? Oh, thank you, John. Pleasant question. My favorite color is orange. Orange. Twitch? No, because there's no discoverability on Twitch. Flesh and Blood isn't... Wait, what? He let this hit? Okay, I'll just Arsenal the Snatch, I guess. Interesting. There's no Flesh and Blood category on Twitch. So there's really bad discoverability. Alright, I see what he's going for. He was going for the old Oakenold turn. Won't buy you back into the game, though. Sorry. It won't. And we can just eat this. Doesn't super matter what it hits. We can still return, most likely, for 8 damage. Most likely. Yeah, there's just no discoverability on Twitch, so it is rough to try to stream Flesh and Blood. And I already have the viewer base. Should have snapped. I actually didn't even notice he didn't block it. I was busy with chat. Now look what you did. I didn't even notice. Alright. But I could have drawn some, I could have drawn like a blue, I guess. It was probably right to just try for the snaps regardless, but. Alright, we'll lead with this. See what he does. If he blocks a Stalagmite, we'll just let the turn be over. But if he doesn't, might as well. Snappies for Blaze, making an 8 damage turn. Make it 8 damage. Not bad. Yeah, that was a bad Oakenold? Yes, it was. Way to go, chat. Tanking me. Okay. Oh, shoot. Wait. Is it blocks yet? It's not blocks yet, right? Yeah, okay, good. I didn't miss the window. Sheesh. Man, chat's so dead. I know. Well, hey, look. All it took was a little provocation, and then there we go. Oh, no. Woman Saint is not my wife. She's just a very wonderful person. Okay, so we don't snaps here then, because he blocks with Stalag, so we can just arsenal the Blaze and be along our way. Save it for a rainy day. Sure. Hey, look, an Art of War turn. Alright. Oh, okay, it's a Channel Lake. Well, you know, that's going to be a little uncomfortable to play through, not going to lie. And Winter's Wail into Frostbite. Also uncomfortable. Well, if we pretend that we can play through the Channel Lake, it would mean we have to block there, turn ourselves into Spreading for 2, Blaze for 1. Nope, that already is too expensive. So we should just go ahead and use this hand to get Art of War into Arsenal for when Channel breaks to win the game. So we want to play out the Blaze. We do want to actively play out the Blaze. Okay. Arsenal the Art of War. If we get really greedy about it, it means we Blaze to pitch Lava Burst. However, the problem with being greedy about it is he can Ice React and then we get locked out of the Art of War play. So I think we'll just do this because we still can pay through the Frostbite and channel to play the Blaze headlong and make ourselves impervious to the Ice React by holding Spreading Flames. So we will go for that. Go for that instead. If you don't win Worlds, you have to propose to her. No, girl. I won't do that. She won't even be there. I did joke to her before when I went to my first calling. When I went to my first calling, it was like calling Dallas, and I got 18th. And I was so excited about it that at like the next calling, I was like, hon, you gotta come with me. If I win, I'll propose. It'll be such a story. But then, of course, the next calling was actually like Classic Constructed, not Tales of Aria sealed. So I was playing Levia and like, I don't know what the hell happened. Probably didn't do so hot. I did joke about that though. She's not into it. She's too, I mean, school is just, like a PhD track is just, it is what it is, you know? That's more than a full-time job. It's a full-time job with grades, basically. So we need to just kind of let that be for now. Let her get over this mountain. Okay, no, Marios, you missed it. Someone asked to play a Fai game, because I said I could only play one game, and then I had to go. So I was like, okay, I'll play a fast game. And someone was like, play Fai. I'm like, okay, that is a fast game. It checks out. However, now we're in this predicament where it was an Oldhim of all matchups, and we're already 10 minutes late to picking up Sandra. So I regret everything. But it's all right. Oh, yikes. All right, well, actually, we're very fine with channel sticking here because our hand doesn't pay for anything. We will just protect the HP. Let it go. Yep, Tunic Pummel. I don't care, bro. Tunic Pummel. Get it out of there. I don't have a card. That's fine. It's a lot. Yeah. Agreement. Proposed to my wife with a ring pop in Vegas and they got married by Elvis. That's love. That might be the route we go down, not gonna lie. Money be tight. Alright. For the love of God, let me keep this hand. It's not great, but we can definitely start with the Art of War banishing CNC off Salt and just go hard. That's where we'll start with this turn, because Double Strike gets good value on turns like that. Oh, but it's going to be a Winter's Bite. Joy. Well, in that case, we'll probably just be swinging with CNC. Sure, I'll pay one. We'll go ahead pay with the brand, just in case we get to keep this. Especially if you're picking her up after an entire day of PhD research. Yes. We'll have to... I think our plan tonight was just eat leftovers and, like, you know, watch a show or something. Not the most exciting, but, you know, it's nice. After a long day of work from her, it's a nice way to spend an afternoon. Okay, well, we might just have to wait again. Just save life again. It's not fun, but we can just play it this way. Double Strike, because it's at least 3 damage, which will be lethal. Well, presents lethal at least. Yeah, we'll just play it this way. It's impervious to Ice React as well. And we'll just wait, because this will demand something out of him. And we still have 4 armor block. Blocks of the Pulverize, okay. Here comes Double Strike for 2 that you can't Earth React. Alright, Double Pulverize out. Well, that's good for us because it's likely his turn is just going to be a Winter's Wail Arsenal. And we've got the Armor Pivot. Oh, it's a CNC. Okay, well, calm down, buddy. It's got to be like the exact card you don't want to line up when you have a hand like this. I really wanted to sink below this turn. That is unfortunate. Unfortunate. Alright, well, our turn could just be Art of War, Pitch Sink, Banish to draw, try to find a blue. Still play our turn out anyway since he doesn't have Arsenal. Because if we do sack all this plus equipment, we're not really protecting anything that valuable. Draw, and I guess buff just in case the turn sucks. Yeah, okay, so this is the kind of hand we do want to keep into him. We have the blue to kick off with our own Art of War. We can manage the lava pretty safely. We go to 2. We still have 4 armor block. That is all fine by me. Oh, oops, not that one. Buff, banish. Okay, I mean, not the most exciting turn, but, I mean, he's at 3. So all we need to do is eat his hand again, and then just lead ourselves into probably like a new fresh 5. Like, in theory, if he does go for the full block, it might even be worth it to just, like, full block with Ice React. It's probably worth it to then just Phoenix Flame in Arsenal. Because the Phoenix would only present 2 off of, like, Searing Pitch here. And that wouldn't be lethal. Of course, now it will be. Okay, wait, Ice React, where is it? Alright, so okay, so, I mean, this is alright, though. Because we can go ahead and just put the Lava Burst on top. We know we'll be drawing it next turn. Sure. Into the Ember. Alright, but we should toss the Phoenix Flame now, because it is lethal. If we hold it, then it's a guaranteed like Shuko proc on Lava Burst, though. So we'll just see. We'll just see. You, Fai. Oh my god, people. How about you tune in for the beginning of the stream, where all I played was Levia, and then I wanted to play one 15-minute game before I had to leave, and then we got the Oldhim matchup. It's not my fault. This game was supposed to be way over. This game was supposed to be hella over. Alright. So, one card on him isn't going to threaten anything, because we can just block it with armor. So, if we save the Phoenix, we basically guarantee lethal next turn. If we throw it now, though, we take the card, but then our next hand might not be enough. It likely still is because of Lava Burst, but I think I would rather toss this in Arsenal, because I'm not triggering Shuko. So we'll just go for like the win next turn. Yep, which looks good. Which looks good. Oldhim ruining lives? Nah, he ain't. Okay, yes, he's ruining my my personal life. He's eating up all the time that I needed to spend driving to go pick up Sandra. But in terms of my fab quality of life, nah, this game's fine. The gameplay itself is fine. Also, it helped us because we were trying to stall for this damn ban list to drop that didn't come out yet. So all this stream, trying to catch the ban list live, just ain't happening. Ain't happening. What else can I do? What else can I do? I've already gone over time. And there's nothing. There's nothing. So unfortunate. Oh, okay, they're passing. Cool. Sure. We will lead with the Art of War, because the Salt will be useless. Oops, wrong one. You play Oldhim, imagine your life. It's great. You probably free up like 3 hours in the afternoon. Like, time to play one game of Talishar. Oh, yeah. I played Oldhim for a good while as well, but I was a big fan of the, like the full aggro playstyle, honestly. I had a lot of fun with it. Sure. Alright, well, these attacks are not red. They are not red, but we should be able to go wide enough with the Lava Burst finisher. Even if he Ice Reacts here, we just toss the blue on top. Can easily just like play through it. Ice React plus Blizzard would kind of shut down the turn, but not really worried about that too much either. We come in for 3 now. It's a whole nother card. We come in with another Phoenix Flame, which is then 2, which is still lethal. All right. Oh, he didn't, Shuko. Oh, Shuko. Okay, he thought he was going to live at 1, actually. But that was the Shuko buff. I even forgot about that. Yeah, so it ate the crown effect. But it's okay, like, we did win that turn anyway. There's nothing his 3 cards could do on that. Because we'd be able to go for 2, and then, I guess another 2, and then Lava Burst. So, I mean, it was just going to be it. We had one more Spreading Flames in deck, but that was our last Art of War. But we can still set up for a Spreading Flames turn to close the game by doing the same play by just arsenaling the Phoenix Flame and make one last push. So, yeah, we still had like one more really good turn set up as well, and he was on must block mode. Yeah, we both forgot Shuko, but it's okay. I think we won that anyway. But now I gotta go. We're gonna madly refresh one more time. Nope. All right, that's it. Oh, oh look, woman saying, okay, cool, now come get me. Yes, ma'am. We're on our way. You all see it.